All right. It begins. What's up?
Nothing. Got a pretty horrible stomach virus right now. Got staying out of school for a couple of days. It's pretty intense.
Hmm.
Been to the
Well,
doctor and got shots and antibiotics and all that.
well, enjoy the time off while you can. And I just Zach. For those who listen regularly, we weren't able to have Zach with us this past weekend on our usual Sunday broadcast. Broadcast like it's radio. But so we're going to just chill and watch some paranormal videos today because there's one in particular that I'm like obsessed with right now. About this guy who recorded a gargoyle on his lawn, or something like a gargoyle. I don't know, but it and his buddy, his buddy starts chanting in tongues to scare it or to fight it off on the phone, and you'll see. But it really, I want to talk to this guy, but we'll get to it. There's a few others before that, but
Question before you start that:
yeah,
Did you ever watch that? I think it was on Sci-Fi. That old show, Fact or Faked Paranormal Files.
fact or faked.
Yeah, where they try to recreate videos like this.
Yeah, yeah, I did, and they actually did an episode about one of the subjects in one of these videos I've got selected here.
Cool. Which one was it?
You remember Dr. Jonathan Reed claimed that he captured an alien after it zapped his dog when he was hiking.
yeah. The one that had that big pyramid obelisk thing in the woods too.
Yeah,
Or I think okay.
yeah, exactly, and it
Yeah.
looked like it was almost made of like living dark matter or something, right?
Yeah, that one was pretty neat.
Well, I've got a video or two from that guy, and it shows the alleged alien blinking, uh, appearing to blink on its own. But
Speaking of blinking, do you remember that really famous up close Bigfoot video where he's blinking? Like it was one of the main ones.
I don't. What do you mean?
It
You
just
mean
reminded me
Todd
because it's
Standing? Was it Todd Standing? Because I've got that too.
maybe I'm not sure.
Sylvanic Bigfoot was the name of his company or whatever.
Maybe all I know is they were Bigfoot hunting and they caught him apparently off guard, and they were able to zoom in so far that they could like see his face in like perfect detail. But to
Oh,
me, it always looked like really bad CGI. Other people seem to think it looks real though.
well, the one I've got, it looks like a mold of a person. It looks like a really good like makeup and effects artist, that did a mold and cast or whatever of a person's face to create
Mhm.
a believable like Bigfoot mask. But I've got that in here somewhere too, though. Let me do a sound check real quick on the video playback mask, but. I, others before that.
Like this.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
The video.
All right, that's good. All right. So first video, this one blew me away. I don't know. Something's off about it because everyone's so calm and they're watching these things. You'll see. Just you see him.
You put it on full screen.
Look at.
Oh,
They're like
they're
monkey.
cute.
They're like monkey people or something. Only it's the ocean. It's creepy. They don't appear to be hostile.
How they walk is disturbing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like little monks.
They're like Ewoks. Water. They're like water dwelling Ewoks.
You know, my first problem with it is that, okay, all the other ones are walking where you can't see their feet.
Mm.
Only that one is sitting there where you can see that, it's not human legs. It's, I don't know the term for that is, but like, dog type legs where they have that little bend in their back. It just, that's weird to me.
Maybe this is some kind of maybe they're people in suits, and it's some kind of, I don't know, like water park attraction. You
Yeah.
know,
Now, if that one started moving, then I'd start buying it. But the
it is
fact that he's on display there,
it is pretty stationary, and it doesn't even look like it's comfortable, does it?
posing for a painting.
Had warned the tour group to be wary of the island. Well, this could be a publicity stunt cooked up by someone working on a movie, I guess, right?
Maybe. Maybe it's freaking Castaways, a Brian Keene adaptation.
Yeah, but hey, guys, he's got dibs on the rape scene. Only Brian Keene is allowed to write rape scenes.
God, stand him.
Yeah.
Did that one just move? Oh,
What, the one over here?
yeah, I thought I saw it, but I didn't.
Maybe slightly.
Oh, there's another one.
Those things came up to the boat and you were a tourist. What would you try to initiate contact, or would you panic, or what?
I'd try to pet it. I mean, it's cute looking.
Yeah. Nobody seems afraid though. Everybody's just kind of
That's
watching.
the thing, though. There should be at least one person on there. Like, what the heck is that?
With that music in the way, you can't really gauge. You can't get a feel for what's going on because of that stupid music.
I kind of like this. Looking for potential meal.
Look at them circling the boat, man. That would be creepy. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to try to turn it over? Are they going to try to capsize it? I mean,
It makes me think of like monks or like satanic robe wearing people walking around, like some kind of ritual. Someone taking a picture? Speculated the species' importance.
well, if it's one of our early ancestors, then why is it still alive? That's what bugs me about the theory of evolution. I mean,
Everything bugs me about it because it's like, you need to read that perverted truth book that I sent you about.
I've got it.
Yeah, big part of that how
I already
people
have.
just readily adapted his kind of, at the time, radical opinions
Yeah.
because it kind of did fit. I don't want to say politically, but there was like a growing trend of this kind of I don't know what the term would be, not racist, but like people seriously, I guess, in the aristocracy wanting to have a concrete reason to be above the common people.
Mhm.
And heck, I'm forgetting the other thing. Basically, he kind of molded his ideas to fit what was becoming popular.
Well, I never understood how we could be some evolutionary offshoot of apes, and yet there's still apes around.
Yeah, and I never knew until that book pointed it out. There's no concrete proof that one species can literally evolve into another species, as in people will say, we originated in the ocean, then we came on land. There's absolutely zero proof of that, if I'm correct.
I will agree that, I mean, there's no question that, things can change for species over the course of hundreds and thousands of years. I mean, I could believe evolution if it wasn't for the whole, we came from something else that's still around. I could believe it if it wasn't for that, because everything else is sound, uh, things do find ways to live in severe environments. If that's the only place they can live, then they will find their bodies will adapt over generations.
Yeah, but they don't become like an entirely different species, like
Yeah,
ever.
exactly. And I don't believe that we ever crossbred with apes. Sorry, so that's a to me that's a hole in the theory of evolution. And is it not still just a theory?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%. People always assume it's bad because it's kind of.
this person is really reaching with this stuff. I think they just wanted it to go viral. The island is listed as private property. Okay, so maybe they let someone film there for a movie or some kind of publicity stunt, some kind of, or just a viral video, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking at this point, especially because the
Everybody's
states
too
weren't going to
chill.
allow it.
Everybody's too chill. Yeah. I didn't set out to debunk this video, but it's just there's no sense of urgency to it. No one is like beside themselves that they're seeing this. It's just, oh,
Yeah, it
hey,
really doesn't feel
like
real.
they're just seeing animals in a zoo. That's not how this would work in real life.
Unless they weren't like, the only way I could buy it is if the tour guide or whatever was kind of dumb and said, "Oh, look over here, there's a bunch of I don't know orangutans or something like an off species." Like he thinks he knows what it is, but isn't aware that it's some kind of
Wait,
unknown
I
primate.
got it. I got it. I know what to call these things.
What?
Well, they're not Ewoks because they don't live in the jungle.
If you say Weewoks, I'm leaving.
No, Seawoks. Huh?
Yeah, too close to Weewoks.
No, Seawoks. They're Ewoks that live in the ocean. I mean,
What is that one on the far left doing?
motioning to that one for another beer.
That's look at its little. It looks like it has two fingers, kind of.
Yeah, he's motioning for another beer. Toss me another beer. Yeah. Seawoks.
Maybe.
Okay.
This is a creepy discovery. It should go viral.
These are the only two I'd be worried about. The ones that are trying to surround the boat. And no parents are trying to keep that little girl from getting too close. Really? I mean,
Wait, what little girl?
wasn't that a little girl there?
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant like in the water.
See?
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to keep her back. See that you have to make your staging area plausible if you're going to hoax it that hardcore. I think this is just some kind of TV show, special attraction for a water park or tour guide deal, or
Just a hoax.
well, I mean, it's too laid out to be just a flat out hoax. Clearly,
Well, I don't know though, because watching a lot of these, especially on Fact or Faked, it looks like a lot of people go really elaborate lengths to get these things to look good. Like I know myself, when I was little and I got my first camcorder, me and my dad planned for so long to do a hoax Bigfoot video because we live like way back in the woods.
Really?
Yeah, we were going to go all out for it, but it just never came about.
Well, it's not too late.
Share this around, comma. The world.
Yeah, they want you to show the world. Yeah, that has all the ingredients of someone trying to intentionally go viral.
Speaking of intentional hoaxes, have you ever watched Butchie Kid? I'm sure you have.
No, never heard of him.
You've never heard of Butchie Kid?
No, who is that?
Okay, you'll just have to look it up later. It's amazing.
Hmm.
They're kind of like funny Bigfoot videos.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the Fresno night crawlers?
Play it. I may have. It sounded familiar.
This is like eerie in a way that I can't really explain because you don't know whether they mean harm or if they're not humanoid. So it's just really hard to gauge what their purpose would be if they're real.
To send you to hell.
Keep watching. I know it's grainy, but
Oh yeah. I've seen this. Yeah.
look at that shit. See, it's like a little pair of legs, pair of stilts with no one occupying them. Little stick figures.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. I forgot. I'm pretty sure that one was on Fact or Faked, wasn't it?
How did they explain that?
I can't remember. It's been so long. Oh god. Emboss effect in it first. Looks like freaking Hoth there.
Okay, here we go.
Whoa, what is it?
Something would have to be controlling it from up here. But how?
I don't know. To me, when it does, huh? Oh,
I don't see eyes. It looks like an Atari game to me. It looks like what?
oh.
That's way too close up. Come on.
To me, it's almost too simple.
There are other videos, though.
Oh, there are.
I mean, that's the only one that I really saved of it to this, but
It kind of looks pathetic, like if you saw it in real life.
But still,
Yeah, it reminds me of those animatronics they have.
how do you explain it? Okay, this is the one that has gotten me all worked up in the last week and inspired me to do this episode in the first place. This one is creepy. Okay. Now, first off, can you hear, or do I need to direct the mic closer?
I could hear on that one with the. I don't hear anything right there. Is there sound?
Yeah, just keep listening.
There it is.
Can you hear him?
I can hear him, but I can't make out what he's saying.
You heard the phone, right?
Yeah.
You see it? You see it right here, right?
Oh. Sort of.
Now, he's in his sunroom, and he's filming it with an iPad. Okay, this is a screen door, I guess, and this thing has been coming around at night around the same time. This is from 2 or 3 years ago, but to set it up, there it is, right there. It looks like vaguely humanoid, but more like gargoyle-esque or something, and it could be a person in a body, a big weird body.
I can't make out anything.
Well, hang on. You'll see it move around.
Oh my god. I can't believe this.
It looks vaguely hunched over, and like its legs are it's partially bent at the knees. You know.
Maybe I need glasses.
Well, it's a little bit grainy, but you can see it
Can
moving,
you hear me now?
right?
Yeah. I see a shoulder and an arm. Is he kind of far away but getting closer?
I
Yeah.
got it on video now. People think I'm nuts. It's on video. It's playing right now. I put the iPad in the window, and now this thing's coming up to the steps in my backyard, Mike.
What's going on?
It's like a weird demonic looking thing, and it's like a human, and it's all scratched down. And this is the second time this happened this week. And as I'm talking to you, this is all on recorded, and it doesn't see me. I'm in that that sunroom. All right, I've been putting the iPad out. It's around, and it happened. This weird things been happening around this time at night.
Can I record it?
You're on record. Everything's recording now. I can see the thing. It's like looking around weird.
Is
It's
it recording the video?
Yeah, right now it's on the video. It doesn't see me. I'm sitting back, but I can still see out the window really good. You should
Can
see.
hear you?
No, it can't. But it's looking around like something out of a weird sci-fi movie. This thing is freaky. It's on video. Huh?
Not a person?
No, it's an evil identity. It's evil entity. This thing's like wicked looking. But it's a human form though. You gotta wait until you see the video. I got it on video. It's
Okay, good.
this is like one out of a million things that people will not. They'll think they won't think I'm crazy no more. Wait until you see this. Oh my
Has
god!
it got a belly?
You should see this thing, Mike.
It looks bigger than a person. Okay, it looks hunched over, like it's using it's dragging its knuckles on the ground a little bit, and that its knees look bent a bit, or maybe even goat legs. I don't see it, but someone else said that
I can kind of see it. Not that I can tell, like, yeah, it's goat legs, but the way it's darker.
it's
Like they've got fur.
hunched over, and it looks like it's kind of almost dragging its knuckles when it moves.
Oh my god!
I can tell you one thing. I'm not calling a friend if something is that close to me. I'll call the police, and I'll let them say I'm crazy. I'll risk that if I feel that they'll come and scare it off, or I'll call wildlife control if it's during the day. I mean, I'm not going to call my buddy. On the other hand, his buddy does. Well, he has an interesting defense, a spiritual defense towards it. So,
like a gargoyle. It's like a gargoyle, man. And it's like 35 feet away, and it came out of those weeds. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It's a
On
plant.
the left side or by the right?
Looking
On
out,
the backyard?
yeah, on the right side, there's the weeds there going down that sidewalk.
Okay.
I got it on everything, and and everything. The whole thing right now. It's the iPad's recording everything. Me, you, and this thing. And I don't know. I should. What's the police gonna think? It's looking. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, dude, this thing is weird. Just
Sure,
pray.
it's not somebody you should call the police.
Yeah, no, it's a demonic creature. It's not human. And it goes back. It just went back. It would go back. It like
I see legs like not hairy,
You
kind of. When he's going back. I'm just now realizing that he's kind of like bent down on his knees. Yeah, I didn't see like goat legs like what that one person was saying.
what I'm thinking it might be, if it's a person in a suit. Have you ever seen someone when they dress up and pretend that they're like a midget and they like wear these little, shoes that go
They're
down?
at the knees.
Yeah. I wonder if they're doing something like that and their legs are tucked behind those little things. That's how he's able to touch the ground, and graze the ground with its arms. And
Yeah, that would explain why it. Well, yeah, you said,
kind of give
and
you.
why he's moving kind of so slow and awkward,
Yeah.
especially going back.
I don't know though, man. Well, he, even as freaked out as he sounds, he still sounds too calm. Like,
It sounds like he's trying to put himself in a movie.
uh,
Like, that's my initial reaction.
explain it.
Went back in the weeds.
Yeah, like it knows something's going on. I got it now. I got on tape.
Huh.
Yeah, just pray. Wait till you see this thing, man. Just pray. This is really freaking me out because 3 nights ago, I'm laying on the couch. I heard something open the door and walk through the sunroom as I'm laying on the couch. Then as I woke up, it was like gone. It was like it shot back through real quick. And I know I heard the door. Then 2 nights ago, I was seeing like this. I was seeing this thing. See it, and now it's gone. So I got 2 minutes on tape on a video, Mike. Yeah, so it's like everything you're saying and hearing now. When I play you back the video, you're gonna wait till you see this. Just pray. I mean, this people won't think they're not gonna think I'm crazy when they see this now. This is unreal. Just pray.
there it comes coming back.
Just pray.
Yeah.
Yeah, praise you, Jesus. Father God, I just want to lift Rick up to you right now, Lord. I don't know why he's being tormented like this, Lord, but we know you know. And Lord, you've been speaking to him in visions and dreams.
Oh, geez.
He's working different things, and the enemy is being attacked by you, Lord. And he's all worked up. And God, I just come against this. I find these things right now, these evil spirits that are just harassing Rick and just coming into his yard. I just bind those things right now. I command them to cease and be still, be gone. I pray that you give Rick peace right now. I come against all fear. I bind that in Jesus' name. I pray, Father, that you just give peace and comfort, Lord, that he knows that Lord, you're watching over, Lord. You are his rear guard, that nothing's going to call me. When you lay down at night, no such terror will come upon you.
Oh my God! There it is, Mike. It came back. Oh my gosh!
I command you to go in Jesus' name.
This thing is
Be gone.
looking weird. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! It knows something's going on, man. This thing is. Oh my God! Oh my gosh! I don't know what happened. We got disconnected. I even called the minister. It went back. It went back. It went back.
Well, what do you think?
It was entertaining. I'm not. To me, it's just so far away. I could almost see it just being a kind of like naked dude.
I don't know, man. It was moving a little too weird for that.
That's how I move.
It could be somebody in a bodysuit now, and like I said, maybe they got the midget legs going on, the shoes on their knees, the little legs that are like extensions of your waist.
Yeah, but there's a couple times when it kind of, I mean, it stands up and you can see that it was just on its knees, like it wasn't.
Oh, by the way, we got Eli Cash in the chat and Kevin Strange. Kevin Strange ain't shit. It's what his buddies always used to say when they would get into arguments. So, you want to come in, Strange? Take that silence as
Got fun. He's going to get in here and troll you about the WM3.
yeah.
That's what I would do if that was him.
We were gonna do a postscript about that whole thing, and we just never found a good time, But we still don't agree on what an Alfred plea actually is. It's like
Wait, how? It's simple.
I'm telling you, the way Ramsey was presenting it, I don't believe that is how a Alfred plea is. He made it sound
that's exactly what they said in like when you watch in the third Paradise Lost the video of them like
presenting
officializing it.
He was presenting an Alfred plea as if they're admitting that they did it, but they're allowed to walk free. No,
exactly. No, they're admitting that they did it, but in exchange for admitting the guilt, they get to use that time already served to kind of like, pay for it. Now, I agree. It's stupid. If it was something other than murder, I'd be like, okay, yeah,
it's
that's
saying
good.
that you have the evidence to convict us, but not that we did it.
Yeah, well, they did say they did it, but then they said, but I'm innocent. Like, basically, they say they're guilty at law, but they maintain they're innocent because the court of public opinion thinks that. How that has an effect on the judiciary system, I don't know, but it's what it is.
All right, Strange. Fuck it. Send me the link. Here we go.
Yeah.
You guys gonna run a train on me or some shit?
Oh my God, I feel horrible. No, I've not been sick in like forever. Then like all of a sudden it just hits me.
Just enjoy your time off and quit being a crybaby. Yes, they're convicted, but that doesn't mean that.
Well, that's the end of the story.
But that doesn't mean that they're saying, hey, we killed those kids.
They're saying, hey, we killed the kids legally, but we didn't kill the kids.
That's not the same. Yeah, that's not the same.
It doesn't make. It's a weird concept. I agree, but that's what it is. To me, if it was something for like a minor offense, sure. But for the murder of 3 kids, I do not get how they can just get off by being like, hey, I'm guilty, which they did. I think it's a freaking horrible miscarriage of justice. It angers me.
Well,
the kind of well, I mean, I know it's kind of an older case, but it seems like the
Fellas,
kind of coming of age horror crowd would be like all over it.
Yeah.
Kevin Strange ain't shit.
Do what?
T-shirts forthcoming. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Quickly, the point of the Alfred plea. The point of the what's that?
I said lay down the law.
Yeah, the point of the Alfred plea is that there's a conviction on record. Period.
Yeah.
There's a conviction on record for murder.
Yeah, but they're not saying that. Hey, yeah, we killed those kids.
Who cares what they say? They're convicted murderers. They can say they're Jesus Christ himself.
Then how come any convicted murderer can't do that then?
That's the thing. It's so weird, but it's not common. Like I said, if for anything other than murder, the Alfred plea sounds like a good deal. But I mean, God, letting them out.
Jeremy, you're hung up on what they can say publicly. Anyone can say anything publicly. The deal is they got out of jail. The deal is they got out of jail, but the state got to keep the conviction. The deal isn't what they can say or not. Every single person that gets out of jail can spend the rest of their life saying they didn't do it. Nothing legally is going to stop them from their speech.
they're not compelled speech wise to say I did it. Legally, they're compelled to say that they are convicted. I mean, they're not compelled to say anything on paper. Legally, they have a record. They have a conviction record for the murder of 3 children. Period. The fact that they got out of jail is the Alfred plea.
Okay, when potential employers look into do a background check and everything, they're going to see that, most likely in their minds, they're going to say, okay, well, they're basically, the documentary's already covered this, that they're, that they were convicted, but they were
somebody made a movie about me that made millions of dollars, and it says I didn't do nothing. Yeah, right here, it says that you're a convicted murderer. Yeah, but I didn't do nothing because the documentary says so. I mean, who doesn't say that?
Wrongfully convicted? Yes.
Yeah, sure. What felon goes to a job interview and the interviewer sits on the other side of him and says, "Well, it says here you're convicted of a felony." What interviewee sits there and goes, "Yeah, I did that." They're all going to say, "I didn't do nothing. I ain't done nothing wrong. I ain't done nothing."
Yeah.
You got it all wrong. They made a documentary about me.
Oh, well, in that case.
I've been watching. I haven't watched those Paradise Lost documentaries in about 10 years. But you guys, Zach really got me interested in the case again when he bought William Ramsey's Abomination book, and I ended up buying it right after he did, and I read through a lot of it, and then I started watching William Ramsey's interviews and podcasts here on YouTube, and then you guys had a great show with him. Anybody listening that didn't listen to that show with William Ramsey about the West Memphis 3 case and the Smiley Face murders and a few other things, his weird Aleister Crowley 9/11 connection book, definitely check all that out. But that sort of rekindled my interest in the case, and my interest had sort of waned over the last decade because after they were so I started watching those documentaries. I first saw the Paradise Lost movies when they aired originally on HBO back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I think it was I don't remember when they aired, but they were being played originally aired, but they were being played heavily on HBO. The year I moved into the reason I remember this vividly is because it was the year I moved into my first apartment by myself. I got cable, had the HBO package, and they were playing Paradise. They hadn't even made the second one yet. They were playing Paradise Lost over and over and over again. It was like it had to have been the premiere month. Because of how often that they were playing it. But I got into it, and of course, at the time, I was a goth kid. I was real into Anton LaVey and LaVeyan Satanism and all of that fun goth stuff that we were all into in the late 90s and early 2000s. And so I completely identified with the West Memphis 3. Those backwoods hillbilly Christians railroaded these innocent kids. Look, they're just wearing Metallica t-shirts. That's all. And then as the years went on, they released the second documentary, and I watched that, and I'm like, oh, well, that John Mark Byers guy, of course he did it. Oh, this is crazy. I wonder when they're going to let these kids out of jail. And by that time, I had learned about WM3.org, the website that because that's heavily featured in the second documentary, right? The people that were
Byers. Yeah.
Pushing for his. I'm talking about the WM3.org, the nonprofit organization that was going around collecting celebrity endorsements for the West Memphis 3, and so I would frequent that website. I didn't get into there were forums and lots of debate at the time, like social debate, like early incarnations of social media were internet forums, and there were people that were raging about their guilt and their innocence on those forums. I never participated in that, but I would go to WM3.org for updates and whatnot. And over the years, I would just keep up with it. It was just one of those weird little pet things of mine that I identified so closely with the guys that I just kept up with them always. And at one point, once I had launched Hack Movies and I was making films, I was contacted by someone from WM3.org to to donate some Hack Movies items for a fundraiser auction that they were raising money for their exoneration. And I didn't end up submitting anything to it. And I don't remember who it was that contacted me, but it was one of the people that used to run WM3.org. So that was like my first real world run-in with the group. And then later on, once they were let out of prison, I actually met Jason Baldwin at a horror convention in Chicago and spoke with him briefly. We had a back and forth, which, was private, and there's no reason to air publicly what we spoke about privately, but it was nothing huge. It was we just talked about the case and what Jason was doing now, what he's involved in now, which is advocacy for other people that he thinks are wrongly convicted. And but something struck me, even before they got out of jail. I guess the third documentary came out right after they got out of jail, so it was after they got out of jail. The third documentary came out, and I'm watching it, and as this documentary is trying to paint Hobbs as the murderer, it immediately, it hit me. I was like, hold on. The entire second documentary is how John Mark Byers is a crazy man who killed these kids and possibly killed the documentary alludes to him, his wife dying and him having his teeth removed and all these different anecdotal things that supposedly lead to his guilt. And then they interview the West Memphis Three in prison, and all three of them are, oh yeah, oh, that guy definitely did it. Oh, he's a weirdo. Oh, what a big weirdo. And that he's even in the first documentary they have the evidence, the DNA evidence on the knife. Oh, he's big enough. He could have carried all three of those boys. They were trying to railroad John Mark Byers for basically across two documentaries, and then suddenly do a 180 and start going after the other stepfather. And it really jumped out at me as like, hold on, I need to reassess this entire case, because I've just sort of been led by the hand by these documentaries that these kids are innocent and that this stepfather is guilty. And over the years, I was waiting for any evidence to come forward that he had done it, for the kids to get out of jail, for him to go to jail, and nothing ever happened. And then eventually here comes this third documentary pointing the finger at a whole completely different suspect. And that just comes across as anybody but the people I like. It comes across as the documentary filmmaker saying, I like the West Memphis Three. In other words, the filmmakers, the third documentary especially, and the second one too in hindsight, and even the first one in hindsight, as I've been talking to Zach about lately. In hindsight, they're all extremely biased and attempt to paint a very specific fictional picture of some fictional characters. And what I mean by that is they have, in the first documentary, there are juxtaposing scenes. There's a scene that shows the children's grandmother talking about how she wants to claw Damien's eyes out. She wants to inflict, and then it's one of the mothers saying that she wants to inflict as much bodily harm upon the three alleged murderers as she could. This is immediately juxtaposed by the following scene, which is Damien's family talking about how good of a kid he was, his girlfriend crying about how she can't wait for him to meet their baby, and then footage of Damien in a white shirt, as ironed white as you could possibly be, like they might as well have lights shining on this white shirt to make him look as angelic as possible, where he's talking about how he can't wait to meet his son, and he would never hurt any. I could never hurt anybody, and it's clearly rehearsed.
It's like in the old territorial wrestling days, like Jeff Jarrett would have like a solid white shirt on, ironed and buttoned up and everything. And so then when he's gets busted open, or does a blade job, as they call it, it's like the red on white, really sells the angle and puts it over the top. Yeah.
Well, now you tell me, Jeremy, if you're an unbiased filmmaker and you just want to tell the story of this horrific murder and the subsequent convictions, why would you juxtapose those two scenes immediately together? They are telling a story. those scenes put together in that way are done in order to grab sympathy for not the victims' families, but for the convicted murderers.
But no one said documentaries don't tell stories.
Right, but
They don't. The thing is, though, the
sort
fact
of
they
pop-
left out
but the
all
pop-
that
the-
Jesse Kelly stuff. Like, I never knew the dude had 5 convictions, and there was some serious doubt about him actually being like
5 confessions.
having a low IQ.
Yeah,
The
what I'm
fact that they
saying
can
is
leave that out's crazy.
the sort of pop consensus about these films is like, well, the first one's just a really down the middle, straightforward, honest documentary, and then things started to get a little biased later on. No. From the word go, that first documentary paints convicted child murderers in as sympathetic a light as possible, and paints the families as you have to understand, when you're making a documentary, you might have 5,000 hours of footage, and it gets cut down to 50 minutes of specific language used for a specific purpose to take the victims' families and make them seem violent and hateful. With all the footage they had to put together, they chose those moments to juxtapose against the most lighthearted moments that the convicted child killers' families presented. Shows a clear bias on the part of the filmmakers to try to get public sympathy for convicted child killers. There's another thing that another part of the first documentary that I was talking to Zach about that really it just now, in hindsight, all these years later, it's very transparent. But at the time, I was 19 years old. I think I'm only maybe a couple of years younger than these guys are now. So I was very impressionable at the time. I had no idea what kind of manipulation documentaries could do to you. But there are, there's a moment in the first documentary where they put a kid on the stand that claims that Jason Baldwin confessed to him in jail. And he's under oath on the stand. This is being filmed in the courtroom, right?
Mm.
It immediately cuts to the defense attorneys sitting in an office talking about how that kid's a liar. He called up the he called up the prosecutor and he told him he was lying. Did you know that? It's like, again, in hindsight and with the wisdom of age, I look back at that and say, hold on. One scene is from an under oath statement made in a court of law, juxtaposed immediately by some guy giving an opinion in an office.
Yeah, the thing about that always really confused me is his story of how it was a false confession made me believe that. I mean, it made me believe the confession more. Do you think he was possibly paid, or do you think he was sincere?
I don't know, because according to William Ramsey and his associates, there's no way to know who was paid and what they were paid. But it's clear that even back as far as the first documentary, everyone appearing on film were monetarily compensated by HBO in some way. So what?
Yeah, like
so
John Mark Byers getting $500 an hour.
So the only statements that are made that can be construed in any way unbiased or factual are the under oath statements made in the courtroom. But the documentary gives just as much weight to an under oath statement as it does to a lawyer hanging out in an office talking to a documentary camera. Why didn't they give that argument in the court of law? Why wasn't the defense's follow up accusing that kid on the stand of making it up and confessing later that he called the prosecutor and told him he made it up? That's not in the courtroom. That's just a guy sitting in a chair talking to a camera. Why does that have any weight? Why does that have any relevance? Why do I care what a bunch of lawyers say in a room? So we have the family of the victims being painted as violent, hateful weirdos. We have the convicted child killers being shown in the most sympathetic light possible. We have doubt being cast on under oath statements made in court by guys that aren't under oath and have no obligation to tell the truth. And that's the first documentary. That's the one that supposedly is a straight shooter right down the middle, just telling the story of the case documentary. And it's not.
Yeah, then later on, they're paying for the freaking families of the three to go to Los Angeles and hang out with that one WM3.org woman who's like a dang producer. I mean, it's obvious that it was constructed bias, with bias when they're putting all this money up, not just the celebrities, but the people making the documentary, letting the families just gallivant around Los Angeles.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Have you ever had such extremely different opinions about a subject or a case at different times to the point that you no longer feel that you are capable of judging what is right and wrong in it? That's where I'm at with this case, because I feel that both sides have brought forth so many facts, and I still feel that, both sides have produced enough to argue about that I'm overwhelmed, and I'm no longer, I'm a hung jury in my own mind. That's why I'll leave it up to you and Ramsey and the West Memphis 3 champions and Eddie Vedder to argue it all out in the court of public opinion, 10 years after the last documentary or whatever, because I no longer feel credible as a spectator even. I've been pulled every which way on it for so long, that I just don't know how to judge it. You ever felt that way about a case?
Yeah, but I don't feel that way about this one, because even from the first one, I was under the impression that they were guilty, and that the
I can't say that with the same degree of certainty, though.
I think the moment the light bulb kind of clicked on for me was watching how Damien Eccles composed himself, how he would go from, combing his hair and sitting up with a cigarette, acting all cool, to talking like freaking Forrest Gump. And it's just my manipulation radar, which I consider myself to have a pretty good one, which is going off the roof with him.
They clearly they coached him to the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
For when they were going to put him on the stand. Oh, I've never heard of Aleister Crowley. No, I'm a white Wiccan. Oh, I just like peace and love and nature. Again, William Ramsey was able to uncover Exhibit 500, which was the defense's own exhibit when they thought that they were going to have to plead insanity to get Damien off of the out of the death penalty. They compiled their own case, their own exhibit, 500 documents showing multiple instances of occult activity in his life leading up to the events. Does that mean he's a child killer? No. But what it means is that kid in the white shirt that just, gee golly shucks, I just like Metallica and nature, that was a rehearsed character. And who Damien presents himself as today in public as a free man is much closer to the way he presented himself to the public before these murders, which is a very dark, very occult-oriented individual. And does that make him a child killer? No. But as I've said to both of you guys, off the air, it's like what we really have here is a case where a blood-drinking witch who, at least in private, has spoken about sacrificing his own child, whether he believed he was going to do it, whether he was being sarcastic, whether any of that has any weight to it is not the issue. The issue is we have a blood drinking occultist witch who has spoken about child sacrifice being accused of child sacrifice. Does that mean he did it? No. The question is, does the town witch who drinks blood, is he responsible? Is he responsible for murder or not? The question, again, they put a character on the stand and presented a character in the documentary that doesn't exist. He didn't exist back then. He doesn't exist now. Damien Eccles is a hardcore occultist. Hardcore. The question is whether or not he murdered kids. as a part as an occult ritual. And we can debate that forever, but we have to bring the goalposts to that point. The popular consensus of the case is that he's just some regular kid wearing a Metallica shirt. That's not the case. The goalposts need to be brought to the present, which is a true blue, dyed-in-the-wool occultist was arrested and accused of an occult murder. Did he commit it or not? That's up for debate, and I think we'll debate it for the rest of our natural lives.
Well, to me, it's kind of already settled because there are two smoking guns, in my opinion, reading through the entire book and just paying real close attention. And the first smoking gun that I don't get how anyone can ignore, yet it is ignored, if I remember correctly from the documentaries, is the thing about the urine and the stomachs and the freaking weird comments that Damien Eccles made, right off the bat when the dang cop showed up at his house. It's like he's freaking proud of it. And he knew something that they've proven no one else could know.
He did revel in this new boogeyman, performance art or whatever.
Yeah, but not even looking at it as performance art. The fact that he knew that about the urine.
So this is what I've seen. I did a little research on it. So Ed Opperman, who's an investigative reporter, and William Ramsey have both put forth that evidence that Damien Eccles had prior knowledge to urine in the children's stomachs. What I've seen as a defense from the Eccles side, from the innocent side, only in YouTube comments, and I wasn't able to do enough research to come to a conclusion on this one way or the other. But the defense side, the exoneration side, they say that it's impossible to detect urine in a stomach because it's mixed with stomach acid. And in many exchanges on West Memphis 3 videos on YouTube, you have people come in going, it's scientific proof that you can't detect urine in the stomach. Look it up, look it up, look it up. They don't present any evidence suggesting that it's impossible to detect urine in the stomach, but they keep yelling, look it up. When I looked it up, I couldn't even find the beginnings of an explanation of whether or not urine is detectable in a stomach.
It's such a weird, obscure topic. Like, who's going to have
How are you going to Google? How are you going to Google? Can police detect urine in the stomach of a deceased victim? I mean, there's really I don't know how to look that up. But I'm just saying, Zach, you present that often. And William Ramsey and Ed Opperman present that often. The urine in the stomach argument. I'm just letting you guys know that there is sort of a response to that, and I don't know how to prove it one way or the other, and I don't know how they proved it. That's the thing, is to say that's not true, you can't detect that, you would think would come with some evidence. You would think that would come with some evidence.
Pill bottle was this that I've got highlighted here? What's this about a pill bottle? I never noticed that before.
Well, that area is like well traveled by druggies, so that kind of stuff is like
inconsequential. There would be a name on the bottle unless they pulled it off. I mean,
yeah, it was probably pulled off. It was probably prescription pill. People. I don't know if they still do. People used to put weed in prescription bottles with no name on it. They carry their weed around in it.
But then the second smoking gun, I don't see how anyone can read the fourth and fifth confessions from Miss Kelly and be like, oh my God, this dude just freaking tricked me all along. Because the way he talks with his dang hand on the Bible and the way he talks when his freaking attorney's telling him to shut up, he's like a completely different dude from what's been presented in all the documentaries. I mean, the documentaries present him as like, almost annoying. Whereas, when he's talking in those confessions with no one around but just lawyers and cops, I mean, he's freaking normal, and he's going on about, in great detail. And the thing is, no one can say he was coerced into doing that because he was coerced not to do it. The only thing I could buy, someone say, he's lied so many times, how can you trust him? Well, the thing is, convicts lie all the time, but the truth eventually comes out later. most of the time, I would say. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. But looking at the circumstances of the fourth and fifth one and how they don't differ that much, that leads me to believe that, his last two confessions are him being like, okay, all these freaking smoke and mirrors are annoying. I'm tired of, for lack of a word or better phrase, pretending that I'm like mentally handicapped. I'm just going to tell you what happened. And, I don't see how someone can read those and not get the same idea.
Well, it's no surprise that they disappeared him, right?
The West you never hear about those in the docs.
Yeah, the West Memphis, the WM3.org people, the exoneration team, they ghosted Jesse as fast as they could when he got out of prison. No interviews, no coverage, and they say, well, he just wanted a private life, and maybe that's true. But the guy that confessed a million times doesn't ever appear. Damien appeared on a bunch of daytime talk shows and stuff in the year following his release. He was all over the place. Released a book, went all over the sort of pushed his brand as much as possible. And Jesse just disappeared back off into the trailer park, and we never hear from him again. The argument that I've heard from the exoneration side about Jesse's confessions, they basically throw him under the bus too. They have no explanation. Again, he was coerced not to confess. The fact that he goes on to confess over and over again, they always point to the lowest he ever tested on an IQ test, not the highest. The highest he ever scored on an IQ test just made him a little stupid, a little below average. They always point to the very lowest he ever scored on one, not the highest he ever scored on one. But they will now say that, well, he knows everything about the case because he's been told everything about the case. So these later confessions don't count because he has prior knowledge of all of the facts in the case. So he's either too stupid to know better and confesses about something he didn't do, or he's smart enough to retain all of the relevant details of a case and be able to recite them back to police. It can't be both.
For no reason, yeah.
It can't be both. And for absolutely no personal gain on his part to confess over and over again to a crime he allegedly didn't commit. It's weird. It's weird. And I think that the defense of that, like the exoneration side, is very contradictory and flimsy. They really don't have any explanation for why he keeps doing that. And then the guilty side, of course, it's because he just wants to he wants the truth to be out there. Now,
which is why they had to settle on an Alfred plea, because they knew they couldn't.
Well, it's because I think if I understood right, it was because when he's under oath, he feels that he has an obligation to God to tell the truth. And he said at one point, that he was telling the truth. So when you're under oath, I mean, you're swearing to God, right? And he was more religious than the other two boys. I remember that in the very first documentary, it was touched upon.
Yeah.
Now, if later though, there's like a major turn away from that, and in the last one where they actually are freed, he does a sharp turn away from that and says, "No, I don't believe we should be here." So, in prison. So,
back when it directly benefits him, and are you talking about like the very last thing?
When he keeps, saying, admitting that this happened, the way that he was accused of it. In the first documentary, he talks about how when he's under oath, he's, has to be honest, in the eyes of God or something, right?
Yeah.
I
know I didn't imagine this.
Yeah, no, he had his hand on the Bible. So.
Well, Jeremy, you just had on screen your favorite go-to red herring. You had the Bojangles thing highlighted.
Yes.
Now, here's an interesting thing that I learned recently just listening to Ed Opperman and William Ramsey podcasts. I don't know. I wish that they were here to verify this, because this is another thing that's not extremely verifiable. You can't just go to Google and find and Google how far away from the murder scene in West Memphis is the Bojangles restaurant. I don't have that
legal document. It's only about a mile away.
In the first documentary that I told you I'm revisiting, when the female officer that went through the drive-through and didn't go inside to check the bloody bathroom of the restaurant, she said that, and the defense attorney was saying, there's a child, you're looking for child killers, and you got that call, and you didn't even check. My understanding is it's a lot more. Bring that up again, if you would, and show me where it says it's a mile away, and a mile in where the crow flies, and a mile in extreme underbrush and woods are two different.
Is it a mile from the spot, or a mile?
I think it's a lot further than that. I think it's a lot further than a mile, because it's an entirely different ward. The cop that's looking for child killers, it's so implausible that someone could have gotten from the murder scene to that restaurant in enough time for when that call came in. It was so implausible that would happen that she didn't even connect the two things. And the idea is that traversing that land by foot would have taken, according to, again, I was listening to an Ed Opperman and William Ramsey conversation. I believe they said something between 8 and 10 hours it would have taken to traverse that land on foot to get there. So that is just a complete misnomer. There's no connection between those things. And if somebody stumbled in there and was bloody and cleaned himself and muddy and cleaned himself up, had more to do probably with all right. So it says
one officer who responded to the buyer's residence was called away to the Bojangles restaurant to investigate a report of an unknown man who was described as bleeding. The Bojangles restaurant was located a mile or so away from the Robin Hood Woods.
Okay.
So
again, it may be a mile the way the crow flies.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's easily traversable land.
Okay.
The one connection I made.
They were saying it was there's a gorge that's almost impossible to travel across.
So it could be a mile away, but not land that you can, just walk across.
Yeah.
Well, did any of y'all pick up on the sections of William Ramsey's books where they're talking about satanic activity in the area prior to the case? They brought up a specific little coven that had African American members. And to me, that kind of clicked with Mr. Bojangles, because he's showing up bloody at a restaurant down the road. Damien and Dominic are showing up bloody, also very and muddy, close to the scene. I mean, it's kind of hard not to connect that.
It's spooky, but I mean, just from experience, a lot of places that are Bible Belt-ish, the most occult, things in those sectors are usually the Masonic lodges. It's just weird that a coven would be under the noses of these people, that are communities full of people like buyers, Well,
we can't know the
point that Zach is making is there were complaints for years about this coven.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The point was that they were trying to alert authorities that there were satanic witches, as weird as that sounds, that there were satanic witches in their area prior to this happening, which is what, again, the documentary does a piss poor job of setting all that up. They just try to paint the authorities and the court system as backwoods Christians that are idiots. The fact of the matter was, during this time, there were many complaints about occult activity in the area. And when this happened, of course, it was the natural reaction of the community to say, see, we've been trying to warn you that this was going to happen, and it happened. Whereas the documentary paints it as though these Christians were looking for witches under every rock, and we're just looking for a reason to string them up. And the fact is, 3 little kids were murdered.
Yeah, and the thing is, not even looking. They weren't even looking for witches, if I understand correctly. Damien had all the freaking, smoking guns.
Yeah, when they first brought him in, just to ask him, they weren't considering him
Yeah, but
necessarily a
even
suspect.
before that, they sought him out because people had been complaining, "Hey, this dude's a freaking weirdo, talking about sacrificing babies, stalking teenage girls, threatening to burn down
The
people's
rumor about
houses."
him,
Drinking people's blood.
the rumor
Yeah.
about him, sacrificing his unborn child, and that is disturbing. And you asked me one question after that original show, Strange, that that it was a good question. If people had not looked into Damien, um, based on all this conjecture and hearsay, would he still be totally innocent today?
Yeah, the question was based on Exhibit 500 and all the rumors and everything that had come out about him. He seemed to be a ticking time bomb of violence. It seemed to be the fact that he was linked to this murder, whether he did it or not, is because of his extremely wild nature. So the question is, if this murder had
every documentary,
the question is if this murder never happened, would he have just done something else?
Yeah.
Would he have killed someone else? Would he have attacked someone else?
I don't know if he's guilty for these crimes or not, but I believe he would have done something. Yeah, if all these things in his records are remotely true, yeah, he probably would have at least been arrested for domestic assault at some point.
Seems like he would end up in the system one way or the other. It looks like he was headed.
I think he was headed
on a system. Yeah, he was headed on a crash course to prison, regardless of whether of his guilt or innocence in this case, which is neither here nor there. That's not a question that I asked to prove guilt. It was just a question about his character, because again, the documentary goes out of its way to create a false character, an innocent child that just listens to heavy metal music.
That's the thing. You could throw out every occult related thing, like say you just didn't believe it, which me as a Christian, I obviously believe it. But it's easy to convict him or at least be suspicious of him, even if you don't believe in this stuff. That's the thing, because as y'all have pointed out, I mean, he basically was just a ticking time bomb, but everyone wanted to take this satanic angle and say, oh my God, that's, it's fiction. Y'all still there?
No, yeah, I was letting that all bear out,
Yeah.
I like the word bear as a verb.
Yeah. You guys want to see this witch though? You guys want to see a witch not named Damien Eccles?
Sure.
All right. I don't know.
This is all Photoshop and After Effects, by the way. All these things that you guys are like, maybe it's a guy in a rubber suit. They literally make these models that you can download for free and put and drop into video footage with After Effects.
No, I didn't know that.
This shit ain't hard to make, man.
That's cool. So you don't buy the gargoyle in the guy's yard, man?
I don't buy any footage uploaded to YouTube.
Well, that's no fun, though. I mean,
it's just too easy to. I mean, look at the deep. We're to the point where we can create real-time facial masks called deepfake of celebrity faces.
I don't even want to think about that. Deepfake.
And you're saying that this grainy figure in the back of this black and white footage might be real, dude.
Well, that's kind of got some logical problems, because by that you'd never think anything was real, which I get it.
I don't. I've seen. That's what I said. I don't believe any footage uploaded to YouTube. Specifically, footage uploaded to YouTube.
See, you want to believe. I don't want to believe that.
In parentheses, extremely shocking video.
Let's see it. I think this stuff is cool. I just don't. I am 100% skeptical of all this stuff.
I believe that this is part of their actual environment, that this is actually happening, whether it's a prank or I don't know. But
let's see it. Let's see it.
All right. It's full screen.
Sure. Do it.
What's happening here?
It's in the desert.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Afghanistan or Iran or what, but
I'm
these
already
guys-
skeptical. I'm already skeptical.
What's a witch doing all the way over there?
What's she doing over there? Okay. Looks like a goat.
No, it's
It's a
It's a
witch.
flickering goat.
you'll see.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's as fake gets, bro.
No,
The thing's cool though. It's cool. Found footage horror movies are one of my favorite genres. I watch them all the time.
Mine too.
I disagree with y'all there.
Look how it's shambling towards. Well, you'll see.
Yeah, it looks cool as fuck.
Wait till you
Kevin,
hear-
you like the movie Hell House LLC. Those are my favorite found footage horror movies, and I don't really like them.
I haven't seen that.
Listen,
This
listen.
is cool. This is like a classic hag
Yeah,
kind of a witch.
exactly.
What's she doing in the desert? Go get her. Go quit backing away. Was he in a car? Run that bitch over.
Motorcycle. I think it's a motorcycle or a bike of some sort.
This is a poor homeless woman they're accosting.
She's moving too fast for
I
us.
feel for her kyphosis, though. That hag is bad.
Here she comes. No. Get him. Put him in the stew.
daring him to go. Look how hunched over she. He's like, he doesn't want any of that.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Look at it. Look at it.
He is scared shitless.
Oh, she's leaving. Oh, she's back.
Oh, you want some more?
He's not even on a road. What the fuck? They're just. He's crying.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
A
No,
little dramatic.
Oh, okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done.
no, he goes back.
He's like, oh god.
Looks like he's in an ATV or something.
Yeah.
I like how she doesn't come back to him until after he goes back to her. It's like she's just trying to get him away.
That guy needs.
That was Damien. That was Damien Eccles.
Did you hear that? That from deep guttural.
Dude, that sounds right.
Good stuff. Fake as fuck.
You know what I initially thought is that maybe those were like night cops out in the desert. I don't know how it works out there, and maybe it was an initiation thing. No.
No, that's a fake video, bro. That's a video made for people like you
What's wrong
that just want to see shit. I have friends that are the same way. I have friends that sit and watch those ghost orb videos on YouTube.
Hey, don't knock the
Love
thing my ghost stories do.
Love them.
Okay. Explain this.
Here we go. Madness on the motorway.
It's so weird. If it wasn't for the cameras, it'd be
Eyes
hard
are weird
to
looking.
believe any of it even happened. But tragically, this is a real story.
Tragically.
And when 40-year-old identical twins from Sweden wandered out,
I hope they're not. I hope they don't look like her back there.
a single moment of madness.
One's bad enough. I can't imagine a world with two people that look like that.
Should warn
Yeah.
you, some of the images and language in this story are confronting. The M6 is one of England's busiest motorways. Thousands of cars.
I'm gonna fast forward it.
over the police.
There we go.
Well, I'm gonna leave this one to you guys. I gotta. I'll be right back. I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay.
Struck by traffic. But when they arrive, they're surprised, belief, and relief because both sisters are alive.
The casualty I was dealing with, she's unconscious. I mean, you can see the damage to the vehicle, the windscreen, and the roof as well.
It's okay, no, stay where you are, stay.
The first twin that I went to.
Ever seen that before? Yeah, mate. What the hell were they running for? No, stay where you are, stay.
What the hell were they running for? Exactly. The police and the road workers are all in shock as they try and make sense of what just happened. They believe the sisters are high on drugs or alcohol, but they're not. As you'll see, the most likely explanation is that they're suffering some sort of rare and quite possibly temporary mental illness. But before we get to that, this story has many more strange turns. A few minutes ago.
Why is it not what?
Bloodier. Like they just got freaking.
Well, that's part of it. See, I'm pretty sure that one of them gets hit again and doesn't flinch.
Now comes two.
Right, don't get going anywhere, okay? Just chill. Okay.
And with an
After getting like leveled by she was the one that got hit by the car.
I'm back. What the fuck am I watching?
I don't know. I'm confused.
One of the sisters got hit. Well, both sisters got hit by a car. One of them sustained broken legs. The other one woke up from unconsciousness, punched a cop, and ran across to the other side of the road like nothing happened.
Is that what made him ugly?
No, they were already that. I guess that was a previous accident. But the implication from most people who show this video is that they're either superhuman or MK Ultra. I don't know.
Okay. Did anybody bother to ask him?
I'm not watching the whole thing.
What on earth are you doing? Oh my God, we're going to have another incident on the opposite carriageway that's just happened here.
Stay there, calm down.
We need to get this girl off the carriageway. I don't know at this stage how violent her mindset was going to be.
Calm down.
I soon found that out.
Calm down. Please.
With the help of some very brave bystanders, the police finally wrestle Sabina to
How can that be when her freaking legs are crushed? I don't get it.
No, it was the other one that broke her legs. And even that one's trying to get up, but this one was hit too, though. And yeah, she's
Very ugly. She's very ugly.
Yeah.
Back on it.
They don't have any injuries. I don't get it.
I'm going to say MK Ultra. MK Ultra confirmed.
Just waving us around like rag dolls on her arms.
I'm going to say one of them's a doppelganger.
take over. Agitated Sabina, so that she and her critically injured sister Ursula can finally be airlifted to hospital.
Ursula, what a perfect name.
When you look back,
When the name fits the face.
Yeah, she injured her tentacles.
so spontaneous, inexplicable.
Okay, I'm bored with that one now.
I want to read you guys something.
Mm-hmm.
So they started this show on HBO this month called The Outsider, based on a Stephen King novel.
Oh,
and it's Jason Bateman is the star of it, and he's been directing the episodes, and it's really good. And the premise of the book is a guy played by Jason Bateman. He's a little league coach. He gets accused of brutally raping and murdering a little boy. But there is, and he's all his DNA is all over the body, and he's also on security cameras in the area of the murder when it happened. He is also, his alibi is he's 70 miles away at a teachers conference. He's also on video at the teachers conference at the exact same time.
whoa!
And so this is it's a procedural murder mystery novel about a case where the accused is literally in two places at once, and it's a pretty cool fucking show. So I finally, against my better judgment, because we all know how much of a Trump hating spurg Stephen King is these days.
Mm-hmm.
Against my better judgment, I went ahead and bought a copy of The Outsider, the novel, because I don't want to wait week by week to figure out what the hell's going on in this story. So I'm just going to burn through the novel this week. I would like to read to you the first page of this novel.
Okay.
Can I do that?
So
It was an unmarked car, just some nondescript American sedan a few years old, but the black wall tires and the 3 men inside gave it away for what it was. The two in front were wearing blue uniforms. The one in black was wearing a suit, and he was as big as a house. A pair of black boys standing on the sidewalk, one with a foot on a scuffed orange skateboard, the other with a limed-colored board under his arm, watched it turn into the parking lot of the Estelle Barga Recreational Park, then looked at each other. One said, "That's 5-0." The other said, "No shit." They headed off with no further conversation, pumping their boards. The rule was simple. When 5-0 shows up, it's time to go. Black lives matter, their parents had instructed them, but not always to 5-0. That motherfucker put Black Lives Matter on the first page of his novel.
God.
That's TDS, man, Trump derangement syndrome in full. And I had forgotten, so many artists are able to still put on great performances, whether they be actors, directors, musicians, writers. They're still able to create compelling art divorced from their psychotic Trump derangement syndrome. That I honestly was taken aback by that right away on page one, that Stephen King had actually sort of injected his fiction now with all this TDS crap. And I'm really disappointed, and I'm torn. I'm like, oh man, is it going to be like this throughout this? Am I going to be lectured for being a straight white male throughout this entire fucking novel? Because let me tell you something, that TV show on HBO, it's not doing that. It's just showing this really cool murder mystery defendant in two places at once story, and I didn't realize I was going to get smacked in the face for being a white guy the moment that I opened this book.
Man, that reminds me of freaking Ash versus Evil Dead, because I'm just now watching it. I know it's been out forever.
Oh, that was great for the most part.
Yeah. For the most part, it's got some of the same thing going on every now and then. It's surprising because it's freaking Evil Dead.
HBO's Watchmen was garbage, though, and
God, that looked bad. I didn't even watch
tried to make you feel bad for being a straight white male, from what I hear. But
I didn't go anywhere near that because it was very clearly on its face gonna be all that. Did you guys see? Zach and I were kind of talking about this a little bit off the air, but Jeremy, did you see this case in St. Louis where this white female author who has a new novel that is from the point of view of an illegal immigrant, and it's sympathetic towards illegal immigration? This woman is being deplatformed from her speaking tour at bookstores across the country.
Take a guess who weighed heavily on it.
That is some funny shit. Only in the world of fiction would that happen.
So yes, a St. Louis shop that I'm familiar with named West Bank Books. They actually, she was supposed to have a book signing yesterday. They caved to the fucking liberal lynch mob and actually canceled this woman's appearance, not because they disagree with the sentiment of the novel, but because the author is the wrong color to write a novel about this topic, which is as racist and crazy as you could possibly fucking imagine. And Zach,
it's not new though. They did it to T.C. Boyle back when he came out with what was his immigration novel? Either of y'all read it?
No,
Tortilla Curtain.
Zach asked you a question I don't think you heard, Jeremy. He asked you, who do you think weighed in on that topic?
Which topic?
The topic of this author being deplatformed.
Gosh, I'm guessing
someone in the horror fiction bizarro circle.
Oh, Brian King.
Nope. Someone in the Broken River circle. Not JDU.
Her.
So, someone extremely white who purports to be brown.
Okay, you're trying to bait me into saying that Tiffany Scandal is white, right? Yeah, she's white.
But she is too. She's another one of the brown people that is passes as whiter than I do.
White. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Latinas, they're all white. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Oh, Gabino, right?
Yep. There it is. Zach, I didn't even see what he said. Tell us what he said.
I've not read it. I only read his little comments and like the.
That's what I mean. Yeah, tell us what he said. I didn't read it. I don't go anywhere near those. My blood pressure is bad enough just on a normal day, let alone going into those idiots' feeds.
Let me pull it up real quick. If I can
You don't
find it. The dude tweets.
You don't have to do. You don't have to do all that. I just thought maybe you knew off the top of your head. You could surmise it.
Well, I kind of do, but I don't want to get it wrong.
It doesn't matter. They're not gonna. They don't listen to this shit anyway. They just spurg out immediately when they hear we talk about them. They don't actually objectively listen to the words we say. We don't get a fair shake. We don't get a fair shake from those people regardless. Like, there's no reason for us to try to do journalistic diligence when we aren't given the benefit of that doubt, regardless of what we fucking say. Might as well just give our fucking opinions.
I admitted my own wrongdoing, not a peep from any of them. So I mean,
No, and privately, I told you that I wished you hadn't have done that.
Well, no, but you also told me you wish I hadn't have pissed on the book too.
The world has changed much in that time, Jeremy, and I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what those people think about us anymore. I want them to hate me. Fuck them. I want them to think the worst thoughts they can about me. All the shit that they wish was true about me, let them fucking believe it.
But I didn't apologize for them.
I'll buy that book and piss on it.
Here's the thing. I apologized because it was the wrong thing to do to anyone's book. Okay. It really. You said so at the time. You said it was.
At the time, I've told you. I told you this in private. At the time, I didn't even realize, and maybe it wasn't you. I think it's you I was talking to about this. I didn't realize how much I was self-censoring myself
I found it.
towards that community. I thought I was speaking truth. I thought I was speaking my mind. I thought I was being honest publicly about my opinions. It wasn't until completely divorcing myself from that crazy fucking SJW leftist cult that I realized how much I actually was self-censoring myself. And so I was looking at it from the lens of like, oh, Jeremy, they're not going to like you or accept you because you peed on a book. Who gives a fuck?
Hey, Jeremy, I'm sending you the link on Goodreads.
No. I don't want to know Gabino's take on anything.
I wanted Zach to quote it for us so we could comment on it.
Well, first off, the title, "The American Dirt Problem," is deeper than one book.
This is about to be the most racist fucking diatribe you've ever had on this show, and you've had some legit white nationalists on the show that aren't as boldly racist as this fucking white dude that calls himself brown.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all want me to read it or not?
Just a little bit. Just throw with. Well, Jeremy, if you don't want us to, we don't have to. I don't want to. This is your show. I just thought it would be interesting.
Here's the best part. The very last paragraph.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the problem with American Dirt is much deeper than American Dirt. Let's keep screaming. Maybe one day they'll listen. In the meantime, we'll read those who aren't getting backed by the hype machine.
Yeah, so basically...
you, Gabino, you fucking fuck. God.
You fucking fuck.
Yeah, Gabino the fucking fuck. This is the problem with Gabino and Tiffany and all of the SJW leftists that hang out in the Bizarro cult. Deep down, what this is what it appears to normal, rational people. It appears as though they don't have the self-confidence to allow the merit and strength of their own work to speak for itself. Mm-hmm. So they develop these ridiculous crutches that Gabino claims that he's not successful as an author, not because he's a shitty writer or because he's only been writing for 5 minutes and he hasn't had enough time to develop a writing career or a writing reputation. His writing itself hasn't had an opportunity to develop a reputation. First of all, he's not his writing, as much as he publishes and as much as he fucking writes nonfiction wise, he does not have a remarkable style that is all his own. When you read something from Gabino, it does not have the personality or voice of Gabino in it. The only way really that I would be able to tell that it was something he wrote is because he's going to be a fucking crazy racist and attack white people or try to paint brown people as somehow lesser than everyone else. And that's my point. My point is that these people are doing a disservice to minority people by presenting them as somehow disadvantaged. They are not any more or less disadvantaged than anyone. In fact, anecdotally, I saw a post on social media yesterday saying that for the first time ever this year, drag queens are going to be in a Super Bowl ad, and it was a gay and lesbian website that was shouting this to the rooftops for the first time ever. For the first time ever,
product.
For the first time ever, gay or drag queens are going to be in a Super Bowl ad. But that's where it ended. Literally, this magazine, this website was celebrating the fact that simply by virtue of being gay and for no other reason, these people were going to be in a Super Bowl ad, which completely destroys the argument that they are disadvantaged in any way, because they are completely advantaged. By virtue of being gay, they landed a Super Bowl ad. Not the merit of the content of the ad, but their sexuality. Their sexuality promoted them into one of the most coveted advertising spots on earth. Gabino can't both say that as a brown person, he's disadvantaged because of systemic racism and demand all the advantages that minorities get from the system for being minorities. It is a completely contradictory assertion. And again, I say it comes from a deep-seated belief that these individuals aren't talented enough to succeed on their own merit. So they use this crutch of systemic, minority advantage to try to put their name out there. And it just drives me crazy because because not only does Gabino sit and disparage white people all day long, which is racist as fuck, but he also presents brown minorities as disadvantaged and not capable of succeeding on merit. He is racist towards fucking everyone.
Also, he threatened to start stabbing people in one of his old Clash articles on the old Yes Clash website. They've scrubbed that since then from the website, but it was there. He said, if things don't change, I'm going to start stabbing people. That's Gabino Iglesias for you, folks.
Stabbing white people? Stabbing white people because of racism? Is that his? Was that the context?
All I remember is stabbing. But the implication is there, yeah.
If you show me a pedophile, I'll stab him in the kidneys and let him bleed out or something, like he's some kind of tough dude.
No, that wasn't it. What do you mean? No, that wasn't it.
That only means he's, talking about stabbing everyone. White people.
He has a history of threatening violence.
Does he? Not surprising. I just don't care enough about him. And even though, you heard that outburst a second ago, I really have mellowed out, It's like
the old Jeremy was coming back.
I think that where you're at now, Strange, I was at when you were trying to, tell me to calm down, when you were still hosting my show on the website. I think you're at where I was at then, and me, I feel like I've come out at the end, except for when I got triggered there for a second. So,
well, at the end of the day, here's the thing: where we're at right now, the three of us can hang out, and there are multiple other people that come and hang out on this show, multiple other authors that come and hang out on this show. We can sit here and do a live show on YouTube, being completely honest about our beliefs and our opinions.
Yeah.
And our political affiliations, with absolutely no repercussions. Nothing is going to happen to us because of this stream. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Don't say that. You don't know that.
No, I'm very confident in that because I feel like as a culture we've begun to come out on the other side of this thing. And the
SJW changed their rules a few weeks ago.
The SJW lynch mob just doesn't have the clout that it had years ago. We've come so far from the Trayvon Martin, everybody's a racist on every white person I know is a racist on Facebook world, to where we are now, which is where the author we're talking about being deplatformed from her book signing tour this week is a leftist feminist. they've completely they now attack their own. And the same thing happened to Bizarro Fiction. The trannies and feminists have run everybody out of Bizarro Fiction, and now it's just
is dead. There's no question about that.
yeah, it's just trannies and feminists. And the thing about
was robbed of that Wonderland Award based on merit, and instead they gave it to a fake woman. So whatever. But
Who was robbed of a Wonderland?
Autumn Christian.
Oh, okay.
The short story collection. Anyway,
we've proved over and over again that award is not based on merit. It's handed out to whoever the powers that be decide is the best representative of Bizarro Fiction in that particular year. And I was groomed to be a Bizarro Fiction award winner, and I just didn't go to the show that year, and so they gave it to somebody else.
But how did Gabino get worked into The Outsider? Well, Stephen King. I don't get that. How did the two?
I have no idea how we segued into that. It was a beautiful segue, though. We made it there.
Oh, Trump
I think we were talking about Trump derangement syndrome and just how crazy leftists are, and how usually they've been able to keep it out of their work. It's all over their social media feeds, but it's usually out of their work. And Stephen King managed to put a Black Lives Matter plug into the first page of his novel. A novel that I'm really excited to read, and now I don't know if it's just going to be peppered with this shit. I don't know how far I'm going to be able to get into it. It's a shame. It's a great premise. It's a very cool premise for a book.
I still stand by the fact that, looking at Stephen King way back when, you wouldn't think that he would just lower himself to where he is now. I mean, maybe he would. Maybe I've just not read enough.
I believe it's a lot of industry pressure. You got to understand who he works for.
Yeah, I mean, he works for the biggest publishers in the world. So.
I mean, he did shoot John Lennon after all.
Did he? Is that a conspiracy theory?
Yeah, you never heard about that guy that goes around like handing out pamphlets about Stephen King being Mark David Chapman or whatever?
No.
Yeah.
Let's get him on the show.
You've got all the cool conspiracies, Jeremy. I don't follow conspiracies like you do. You got all the cool ones. You got the juicy ones.
Yeah. But no, I really have mellowed out. I think that you meant to trigger me with that, but a minute ago. But I really have mellowed out, and I mean, I got to keep in mind that Ben's a part of the show, and I don't have any problem with him. But I told him I don't consider that culture. I consider that culture to be white. I just, and he wasn't offended. So,
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. I don't believe that people that can pass as whiter than me really have any room to be calling themselves oppressed minorities when nobody else is going to fucking see them in their day-to-day life and even assume that they are anything other than Caucasian. Like, how the fuck are you being, for example, another Gabino bullshit thing is the motherfucker is like going to give the valedictorian speech in his college, and he's going to talk, and he's already claimed on Twitter that his speech is going to be all about racism. You're the fucking valedictorian, you fucking idiot.
Man, he's going to be the life of the party, isn't he?
He's the fucking valedictorian. He's clearly not systemically oppressed if he's the fucking valedictorian. If he's giving a fucking speech to the other students, he's clearly not fucking oppressed. And then the speech is going to be about oppression, and you're going to get a bunch of fucking white liberals sitting in the crowd going like, oh yeah, man, all those white racists are real bad. Where the fuck are the white racists, you idiots? They don't exist. It's a crutch.
Man, I'm glad I got out of the humanities in college. Even as small as the universities I go to, still got that same kind of problem.
Listen, as far as this Super Bowl ad, listen, Wookie hosers, you can dress up in a Halloween costume every day of your life if you want to, okay? But I don't give a shit about it. It doesn't mean anything to me, and men are still men and women are still women. And you don't wake up one day and decide differently.
My point of contention was that there's clearly no oppression if you're being thrown into a Super Bowl ad based solely on the fact that you're gay.
And valedictorian.
Gay people aren't oppressed, period. We're on the cover of the biggest magazines.
I
We're
don't care if they are.
we're
I
in
don't
Super
care
Bowl
if they
ads.
are oppressed. I don't care. I just want to live my life, you know?
Well, that sort of speaks to social media in general, and how horrible it's been for the last decade. Is that everyone wants to pretend that they're presenting this idea on social media that we're all sort of part of these philanthropic enterprises. We're all part of these organizations that prop up the downtrodden and the oppressed, and it's like, that's not real. In real life, these people aren't advocates for minorities and poor people and sick animals.
They're
just
advocates for freaking academics.
For the most part, people on social media in general are just fucking posting memes. They're just posting and reposting memes. But we present this idealistic version of ourselves through social media that somehow has been married to this concept that we all have to show that we're like philanthropic, that we are give to those less fortunate. Why is that married to our social media identities? I don't understand why that happened. That we put an avatar on a website that we can talk to each other on, and suddenly we have to project the most idealistic version of ourselves.
Yeah,
it's fake, it's plastic, it's terrible. It's not how people are. It's not real. Those aren't the real personalities of my friends and my family and my coworkers. And that's not, I mean, we put a screen between each other and suddenly we act like completely different human beings. And for it's been driving me crazy for a fucking decade. For 10 years, I've been telling people, fucking just act normal. Just fucking act like yourself. So what?
Well,
so
some people are like
so
that.
A phone
It's just,
connects
you hang
us.
around a university long enough, you see it. I think
Yeah, no, you're right.
the
I mean, that's
common
where
everyday Joe is
that's
just
where all
wanting to kind of lark.
You're right. That's where it all came from. You can trace the idea of liberalism all the way back to the Frankfurt School in the 1950s, and what produced that first free love hippie generation out of colleges in the 1960s. What led to the sexual revolution. We can follow it all the way back to where it came from. It's a clear, straightforward, cut and dry line. But the fact that it works on people is what drives me nuts. The fact that normies have a phone, and that phone allows them to talk to each other instantaneously, has somehow the fact that leftism has been able to insidiously sort of infect that experience of us using screens to communicate drives me nuts. It just drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going back to Bigfoot, Jeremy?
That's the one I was talking about.
Keep
Survivor.
going. Let it be like background. Like
we're ranting over Bigfoot footage. I like this. No, do you guys understand what I'm saying? How it doesn't make any sense to me that normies can be inundated with psycho leftist ideology just because we're talking on phones?
It's weird, but it shows you that it's either just a follow the herd thing, or it does, like, it's literally injected into society to produce that result. I mean, it obviously is, bringing up the Frankfurt School and stuff, but it's kind of harder to answer when you're getting to just the average everyday Joe who maybe doesn't even, have a desire to have a college degree.
Well, that's the thing, is normies don't have any idea this is happening.
Well, yeah, they just look at it and that's how it is, so they follow.
Right, exactly. They just see that that's the pattern that they're supposed to behave, the pattern of behavior they're supposed to follow, and so they do. But it drives me crazy that is the case. But I guess the insidious nature of leftism is it travels anywhere that there are eyeballs. It travels towards it travels to where the reason that the biggest, most popular films, the reason that the biggest, most popular music, the reason that the biggest, most popular social media is infected with leftism is because that's where the majority of human beings' attention is. So you have to, if leftism is to take a foothold in normie world, that's how they do it.
The sad thing is the dissident community there's evidence that it's highly, highly infiltrated by feds. Whereas it seems like a lot of this stuff is more organic, but still pushed from that original, kicking off point. But it really depresses me that the kind of opposition to all we've been talking about has been so infiltrated by people in the government that it's like nothing can be authentic anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of those covert government organizations, the CIA, MK Ultra that you like to bring up, Jeremy. That stuff is such a well-oiled machine that any grassroots sort of ideological or intellectual movement that starts is quickly infiltrated and dissipated because of the power of suggestion, the power of that's why Jeremy, you were kind of half-heartedly joking earlier about YouTube's terms of use. It's like YouTube was one of the biggest areas of intellectual freedom over the last 10 years, and the powers that be in YouTube land have made sure that these types of conversations are few and far between, and are certainly not promoted. Mm-hmm. Like we could have this conversation for 12 hours today, but the number of eyeballs it'll land on are very few because of the very nature of YouTube algorithms today. Yeah. In a post-Trump world.
And I freaking long for the day that getting into this kind of conspiracy stuff was seen as a cool form of media, whereas now you're basically ostracized for it. And it's just like it happens so quick. Best example being Alex Jones. It kind of all happened with him. It's like he was a cool thing to get into before, but then all of a sudden he's like, just a freaking public enemy.
Yeah, I mean, he's still going strong, and his whole team was in Washington for the Second Amendment march that happened on Martin Luther King's Day. Yeah. There's footage of like Millie Weaver and a few other key, what's her name, Caitlin Bennett, and a few others that actually got White House tours when they were in the area. So there's support for Alex Jones and his crew. There is high level support for them in the Trump administration. They just don't publicly talk about it.
Yeah. Wonder what the next big thing will be. Like for 1 second, it was World War III.
Oh, shit. Whoa! What is that? Oh, it's a naked man.
Looked like it had
looked like Damien Eccles. Look at it. Pause it. Is that its schlong? Look how big look how big the bush is on that motherfucker.
What the hell?
Listen to that.
Why are people saying what the hell when it's obviously a person? Why does it say creature spotted in the North Georgia woods?
Because a creature was spotted in the North Georgia woods. What do you mean?
That ain't a creature. It's a dude.
Jeremy, are you familiar with the SCP Foundation?
Yeah. I know they got co-opted by craziness too, yeah.
Did they? I don't know anything about that. There's videos on YouTube that the guy that just kind of does like basically like audiobook versions of SCP stories, where he just sort of he'll be like, SCP 1034.
Yeah, the incredibly hard to kill.
What is this? I have no clue.
Did you say what is that, Zach?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Oh, well, basically, so a long time ago on 4chan, people would write scary short stories, and they're what's known today as creepypasta. Yeah. You know what creepypasta is, right?
Yeah, too many freaking annoying high school girls thinking all of it's real.
We're not talking about whether things are real or fake. This is clearly fiction. So creepypasta was short fiction posted on 4chan. That some of it was good, some of it was crappy, whatever. But what this SCP Foundation did was basically created a wiki site that gave a sort of universal organization. There it is, the SCP Foundation. Jeremy's brought it up here, and there are thousands of short horror stories that all link to one shared universe. So what creepypasta has sort of evolved into is this wiki site here where all of these short horror stories, thousands of them, all exist in a shared universe, and I think it's fucking cool.
It is.
Jeremy, you're saying that they've been infiltrated in what way?
Somebody had to rewrite. I hear my. Okay, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody had to rewrite some entries, or chose to shut some whiners up
Because they weren't PC enough, they weren't leftist enough. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
The ones that I've heard, I haven't heard any political, because I've listened to probably 3 or 4 dozen of them now. I haven't heard even a lick of political nonsense. And let me put it this way: they don't start with the first paragraph doesn't have Black Lives Matter references in them, from what I've read.
Yeah.
You all never experienced that phenomenon of people telling these stories like they're real? I mean, that was a thing, I guess.
Yeah. When creepypasta first started, they were trying to pass them off like these were real experiences. But over time, it's evolved into this right here, which is a shared universe of fictional short fiction, which are told in a similar way as creepypastas are told. And I think they're cool as fuck. I've actually, I have a writing partner. I haven't told anybody this publicly. I have a private writing partner, and she and I have been working on developing our own SCP that we're going to submit to the website when we finish it. It's pretty fucking badass. Cool. She's a crazy Lovecraft lover, and is really into occult fiction and cosmic horror. And so we're combining our efforts and writing our own SCP that we'll try to submit to the site. I know they have pretty rigorous what do you call that? Kind of guidelines, and you'll get it's easy
criteria.
to get. Yeah, really strict criteria and guidelines, and it's really easy to get rejected. But we're going to do our best, and it's a cool story. It's a really creepy fucking idea that we came up with. So hopefully, I'll get one on there.
Is it beyond, or is it what class of organism is it?
I don't even know the difference. What's the difference?
Let's see.
There's several different classes, and I can't remember what they are. They say up there at the top, don't they?
Yeah, somewhere. Kettle.
That's one thing. I cannot do audiobook fiction. I can do audiobook nonfiction, but fiction just kind of.
Keter is the most advanced, I think.
Yeah.
Assigned to subjects that display vigorous, active hostility to human life. And or space-time, and capable of causing significant destruction in the event of a containment breach. That's Keter class.
Yeah, I would say it's probably that. It's not humanoid. It's an environmental event that, if not contained or if containment is breached, can wreak extreme havoc on a local area and the inhabitants. It's a psychic phenomenon that creates cult-like cannibalism around it. When it happens.
Cool.
That's as much as I'm willing to say.
Very cool.
You said you don't like listening to fiction, Zach?
I listen to a lot of nonfiction on audio.
Pop one of these on YouTube, Jeremy, and play it for them, because they read like nonfiction, assessments. The whole thing is they're designed to read like
so it's almost like a found footage type thing in a way.
Yeah, they're designed to read like scientific reports.
Now that I can get behind.
Are you looking one up, Jeremy?
An SCP like read through.
Yeah, just look up a quick one. Here, I'll drop one in the chat if you don't have one, because I've got a bunch of them open here.
I'm trying to think of the most like extreme one. I can't.
Well, it doesn't have to be an extreme one. It could just be. I just want Zach to hear what, like, an example of what they sound like.
Oh, okay.
And agents aiming to understand and catalog anomalous objects and keep them from getting into the wrong hands.
SCP objects are classified into 3 main categories of safety: safe or understood objects which can be left alone with no major consequences;
Oh, I thought I was sharing the
are not
screen.
well understood objects which may cause containment breaches if not actively watched. And Keter are dangerous objects that will break containment and do harm unless they are surveyed 24/7 and may cause an end of the world scenario. SCP-1351. Object Class Euclid. SCP-1351 is a cave located within the Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky. Interestingly enough, this cave in no way follows the rules of gravity, space, nor time. As the warp tunnel beneath the sanctuary of the Earth's surface wraps around itself to form its own gravitational point.
Wow.
See, I put this stuff on when I draw.
Yeah, it does. It expands your mind. That's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, it's really cool monsters and so it's the same stuff that you guys like when you're going and like looking for paranormal stuff on YouTube, but all clearly fake and made up, but made to read like reports of these phenomena have actually been found out there. And this website, the SCP Foundation, catalogs it all in one big shared universe, which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm. And some of them have actually managed to escape the containment unit and go missing, like the killer teddy bears or whatever.
Yeah, well, there's huge there's like overarching SCP stories where like they make these gigantic epic stories out of them where the SCPs interconnect and one has something to do with the other, and it's these gigantic cosmic events that are all trigger these SCPs and stuff.
And you know about the Dr. Wondertainment stuff, right?
Uh-uh.
It's like this obscure entertainment company that has like that brands like little misters that you can grow yourself, like Mr. Fish and Mr. Sad. It's just weird.
That's weird.
Like the things that the company that used to sell the sea monkeys and all this stuff. It's like that, only he gives you the tools to grow SCPs, I guess.
That's fucking cool.
So yeah, it says at the top 20 Little Mr. SCPs. So that was one of them that stood out to me.
Yeah, I let the YouTube playlist just roll through, and I just listen to any random SCP that pops up while I'm drawing and stuff. It's just something cool to listen to stimulate my imagination while I'm drawing.
So have you found drawing to be kind of your favorite thing, or do you still prefer fiction writing or movie making?
Everything at this point in my life converges. I don't draw random pictures. I draw, I write, comic book scripts, which are exactly the same way I write movie scripts. And in my head, I see the same movie that I would go out and try to film to make a feature film. But then I draw it all as basically storyboards that are comic books. To me, it's the whole business is one big incestuous artistic endeavor. I can't do one without the other at this point. It's all, to me, I draw, when I draw comics, I compose the shots like I would a movie, and I write the scripts like I would a film script. So it's like, it's all interconnected. But I'm much more comfortable, not comfortable isn't the word. I'm much more artistically stimulated, adding the illustration element to my work than I was when I was just writing fiction. Writing fiction to me was very two-dimensional. It was as good at it as I am. I never found the joy in it that I found in filmmaking or drawing comics. And I don't know. I have 2 unreleased books that I do plan to edit and release, but I don't know that I'll ever write fiction again after that.
What's the name of that program where you can make up your own hoax videos and whatnot?
Think you're on hoax videos?
Yeah, what you were talking about at the beginning. I think.
It's a special effects program called After Effects. It's part of the Adobe suite of. So you got Adobe Photoshop, you get Adobe Premiere, which is the editing software, and Adobe After Effects is the special effects software.
You thinking about making you a hoax video, Jeremy?
No.
I think it'd be more fun to actually do like an all-out one with an actual suit and stuff.
Well, let's just say if I am, I'm not going to admit it here. And
Well, that's why I like found footage
channel. It wouldn't be through this channel either.
That's why I like found footage movies. Found footage movies are an opportunity to make the most, realistic paranormal hoaxes, and do it in a narrative fashion that tells a story. It's really I love that genre. I mean, and most of those movies are bad, but I'll sit through a bad found footage movie for some reason, regardless of how bad it is, because I just love that format.
I agree with you. I can watch even though found footage isn't my favorite, I can watch a bad found footage movie and enjoy it more than a really bad regular movie.
Yeah.
Just because of that illusion, it's a real thing, so it can be as crappy as
Have you seen the latest? Have you seen the latest Blair Witch movie?
Oh God, I took my girlfriend to see that. You mean the one way back in maybe it was 2016?
Yeah.
God, I hated that one.
Did you?
That was our first date, and I told her after we came out of the theater, I'm like, I apologize for that.
Oh, I thought it was great, man. There's that scene where they pull the little Blair Witch little symbol off the tree, and they break it in half, and the girl crumbles to the ground, broken in half, like it was her effigy.
Yeah, I guess I just wasn't really in the loop because I had never seen the previous ones. But no, those I always hated. I hated that second one and what I've seen in the first one.
Interesting.
I didn't.
Well, there's a moment in the film that nobody picks up on. Anybody I've talked to missed it. At the very beginning of the movie, they're looking at footage from inside a cabin, and the main character asks the guy, do you think that's your sister? And he's like, yeah, I think it could be. We got to go out there. And it's the whole impetus for why they go in the woods to begin with. But the very end of the movie is the girl in the beginning of the movie asking him if it's his sister. It's her running up the stairs in the cabin, and she looks at herself in the mirror with the camera. It's literally, they found their own footage. They found the footage of themselves trapped in the cabin.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's a cool time loop that happens in that movie that I thought was a pretty cool, brought it all together.
Have you seen the VHS movies?
Oh yeah, I love them.
Yeah, those are next to Hell House. Those are my favorite.
VHS 2 has a short. It's called this might be just called The Cult. It's the one where they go to that. They go to that.
The skate park.
No. They go to a cult. They go to a guy that has a cult, and remember it's the scene where there's a scene in it where everybody takes shotguns and blows their heads off.
Yeah.
At the end, the demon crawls out of that woman's stomach and chases the guy down. Yeah. Oh, that's a fucking killer short film.
Yeah, I love the one that the two skateboard dudes go to that thing, and there's these freaking skeletons running around that remind you of Tombs of the Blind Dead, kind of.
Yeah, cool movies, man.
Yeah, those movies rule.
Jeremy, you got anything to add about found footage horror movies?
They're actually one of my favorites too. I actually enjoy most of them that I see. Let's see, Evidence is a favorite that not many people know about because
I wasn't too big on that one.
The last 15 minutes are so crazy and visually arresting to me that it's I can't pick out just one thing I liked about it. But also Crow's Nest. I liked the way it was paced. It was paced real good. The VHSs, especially the last one with the kids on the skateboards, which everybody shits on. I liked it and didn't have a problem with it because I'm not jaded. Let's see. The Paranormal Activities are actually my least favorite.
I like those. I think those are cool. That mythos behind the demon is really cool. The movies are kind of boring, but the mythos itself is really cool.
Wicksboro Incident is another.
I think we can all agree that the worst found footage film ever made is Hellraiser Judgment. Or no, Hellraiser Revelation. Yeah, you don't remember the found footage Hellraiser movie?
Huh.
Yeah, man, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen that one.
This is probably the greatest found footage movie I've ever seen. Wicksboro Incident. You ever seen it?
Uh-uh.
There's
Yeah,
actually
now.
there's a website I used to go to just about found footage movies. Found footage files, maybe.
Can you watch them on there, or they just give information about them?
They do podcast. They did podcasts about them, but
Okay.
it's kind of dried up. There's also a database, Found Footage Critic. Yeah, this has like alphabetical in different genres. I mean, the latest reviews, ratings for all of
I
them.
bet the dude that runs that website's a hipster.
Why is that?
It just has that feel. He probably obviously critiqued some of it.
All these different found footages. Digging Up the Marrow is another favorite found footage of mine. Anybody heard of that one?
Digging Up the Marrow, is that the one about the monsters? They go out to the...
Yeah, it's got Ray Wise from
Twin. Yeah. I didn't like it. Was all right. I didn't like it all that much. It's from the same director that does the
Hatchet
movies. Yeah, it was okay.
Why don't you like Hill House LLC? It's like the epitome of found footage.
I haven't seen those.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that one. Lunopolis is another favorite. Oh God, Lunopolis is great.
Here's my favorite. My favorite. Have you guys seen Lake Mundo?
Yeah.
Lake Mundo. Freak me fuck out.
The posthumous
Mungo with a G.
Mungo. Okay. Yeah, but the girl has died, and she had a lot of secrets. Right.
Oh, it's an unsettling movie, dude.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That movie gets me.
I'm glad they didn't go the direction they were going to with the second Platinum Movies Friday the 13th. They were going to have it be found footage.
Yeah.
That would have been awful.
Who knows what they're going to do with it? I read recently that the lawsuit might be over and they might actually be able to make another movie. Who knows what they're going to do?
I hope it is.
Tapes is chilling.
Yeah, see, that one made me so mad. I mean, I know it's supposed to, but it made me so mad that I just don't like it.
Killer frames a cop.
Yeah.
And gets away with murder. Causes his one escaped victim to commit suicide.
Jeez.
She couldn't be with him. Crazy. That pushed found footage like very far. I mean,
jeez.
Made me angry. I wanted to see that dude just get killed so bad.
Yeah, we never even get to see what he looks like. Clearly, he must resemble the cop that was executed. Though.
Call me old fashioned, but narratives where evil wins out just annoy me because it's like I know it's not been as done as much as good winning, but at this point, it really does seem like an annoying.
I think
the intent of the film, I think, is what's more important than the ending of the film. For instance, the movie, one of my favorite, movie that I draw personal inspiration from. One of my favorite movies is 300, and in 300, Leonidas is killed by Xerxes. But
that's a little different.
The act of defiance itself is so inspirational that even in the face of certain doom, that you can achieve something. And the fact that Leonidas was able to show all of Xerxes' followers that he could bleed and he was mortal was enough of a victory that even though he was overwhelmed and killed, it was still a type of victory. And so in that movie, technically the bad guy wins.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
He was done.
I'm talking like Poughkeepsie tapes, 3 from Hell. Which
I'm saying you can do a story where the evil wins, but you can do it in such a way that it's still not a nihilistic sort of fetishizing of pessimism.
Yeah,
which we do live in the era where we fetishize pessimism and nihilism. So it is extremely overdone, not only in our media, like our movies and music, but also in memes and meme culture on social media. People are obsessed with pessimism and nihilism, and you could almost call it like suicidal culture. The idea of fetishizing the want for suicide.
There should be a trade-off with endings. You know, for every good thing that happens in the ending, there should be something bad in there to balance it out. I don't think one side has to totally win out over the other. It should be like the end of a war. You know,
endings are an art form in and of themselves, aren't they?
There are sides that you know are the scales are totally tipped to their advantage or disadvantage. There are truces between other, you know, places. There's you know somber goodbyes, and other people don't make it to the end. I mean, you know, yeah, it should be like the end of a war, the ending of a story. Yeah.
One of the endings that I like a lot, it's always stuck with me from a really bad movie, was Starship Troopers 2. You guys ever seen the sequel to Starship Troopers?
I don't think I saw the first one.
You never saw Starship Troopers?
No, I haven't either.
Oh my God, Starship Troopers is one of the best. It's Paul Verhoeven, who directed RoboCop and Total Recall, two of the greatest 80s action movies and early 90s action movies of all time. He did he did Starship Troopers, and Starship Troopers is like a fascist future world where every citizen is compelled to spend some time in the armed forces to fight the invading space bug army, and you sort of go through these kids graduate high school and they start their compelled recruitment, and they go through basic training, and it is the most brutal fucking basic training you could imagine. Kids actually die in basic training just from the training to fight the bugs, let alone how many people get massacred from fighting the bugs. Anyway, the first one's a really, really cool movie, really great movie actually, based on I think a 1950s or 1960s novel. That was an anti-war novel, whatever. But the movie is like gratuitously violent, but just like all Paul Verhoeven's movies. If you've seen RoboCop and you've seen Total Recall, you know that he revels in extreme violence. And so Starship Troopers was just an excuse to make extremely violent death at the hands of space bugs.
I think we can all agree the best ending in movie history is A Ghost Story. Have y'all seen that?
I haven't seen that.
The one with the cover, like the sheet ghost on it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Oh, is that the newer one with Casey Affleck?
I'm not sure about the actor.
Well, don't spoil it because I haven't seen it. It's on Netflix. I haven't seen it.
You need to. What about Dracula 3000? Now that ending is hilarious.
I don't remember the ending. I remember liking that flick.
It's so funny. Like every time I see it, I freaking laugh.
What's the ending?
It barely ends. It's like you think that more stuff is going to go on, but then all of a sudden the spaceship just explodes because it's close to the sun.
Wow. Well, the ending of Starship Troopers 2, what I was getting at was the second movie isn't good at all, but the protagonist is like anti-war and is like trying to like dismantle the Space Marines. And in the end, he's killed, and I believe he's killed by the government. I believe the government assassinates him, and then they use his likeness to promote recruitment, and so he ends up becoming an icon of war when he was actually anti-war. And I thought that was a very moving ending, like showing how easily propaganda can manipulate reality.
I thought that was from Antichrist. Yeah, I love that.
I only watched the first scene of this movie. This movie's fucked up. Awesome. Why'd you bring this up, Jeremy?
Well, we were talking about the endings and like evil winning and stuff, and it's just such a wicked scene, you know.
Is this the end scene? Is he getting yelled at by a fox? Is that a coyote?
A fox.
Is he being yelled at by a fox? Is that what's going on there?
Now he's getting lectured about chaos reigning by a fox.
Oh, okay.
This movie, I love this movie, but it annoys me. Horror fans going on, oh, it's not. I don't know why, but it's funny. how it pauses on his face.
That is an awesome scene. What are you talking about?
I love it. That's an awesome movie.
Yikes.
I can shock. I can bet I can shock everyone here though.
I disagree with the Dead Fox's assessment. I believe that we're in an eternal spiritual battle against chaos. That order reigns supreme because the light of consciousness, call it God, call it whatever you want to, compels order.
Well, this
Edit Drove, which shows it's got that
probably
initial
will get
start.
me. This probably will get me kicked off, but I'm gonna do it.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Jeremy, what are you doing?
I don't know.
You're just showing us a bunch of gross shit.
Yeah,
Why are we looking at gross shit?
because I can.
This is the kind of stuff that sucks souls, man. This is spiritually harmful.
Yeah,
It's spiritually toxic stuff.
I know.
What are you doing? What are we cutting tits off? I cut tits off more than ever. Are we gonna fuck these wounds? Is that what's happening here? What's going on?
I'm not.
What the world is this? Is this from that movie? Didn't you have the director on?
Yeah.
In the early episodes.
Look, he's enjoying it. Look at him. Bored. God, she is wet.
This is disturbing.
She is moist, man.
Zach, what do you think about all this?
He's liking it. Look at no, not Zach, but that guy. Look at he's loving it.
Is that you, Zach? Is that the movie version of you?
No, I can't say it is. Have you shown that clip on here before? Or am I just getting the strangest, weirdest case of deja vu?
You know what it was? I played that music on an episode once, and so it's like I like MK Ultra'd your mind, and you had a flashback of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I did.
Zach, do you believe I do that things like that are spiritually toxic?
Well, it depends. I believe you can practice, looking at it as a bad thing, but still entertaining, or else I will be a hypocrite because I'm Christian, but watch horror movies all the time. But I believe if someone doesn't have a basis, some kind of, basically just a spiritual basis, I believe they can get corrupted, yes.
The popular Christian sentiment would be that it's moral corruption, but I don't necessarily think that. I certainly, I'm a horror film director. I'm a cult cinema icon, and so I would be a complete hypocrite to sit here and say that the things I create are causing moral corruption. What I believe I reflect the moral corruption of society, specifically the moral corruption at the hands of leftism and liberalism throughout the course of American history, is what has caused a moral decay. But I believe there's a different plane, a spiritual decay, where if you subject yourself, if one subjects themselves to too much extreme violence and weird stuff like that, or like real gore, like watching death over and over again and things like that. I believe that the reason I call it a spiritual corruption is because I believe spirituality is the connection of all things, and I believe
at that point you're just kind of fetishizing it.
I believe that there's
not. It's a complete reflection of what your heart wants. You're seeking out things like that. Now, sometimes they can be entertaining.
Well,
but,
I believe that people
the Bible puts it the best way. The sin starts in the heart, not with the action. Engaging in
people that feel
things.
I believe that people that feel alienated, that feel like they don't have a connection with other people, they revel in that type of entertainment because it creates a spiritual disconnection. So for them,
as well as a power trip. No one ever talks about that.
I don't feel a disconnection though. That's the thing. I feel like I'm gazing into a very dysfunctional mirror.
That's the thing. You already had that spiritual basis. Like, say someone
okay.
And someone off the streets kind of gets into that type of thing. They can easily be led in kind of a bad direction. And I
In
think
the wrong hands. Okay.
yeah, well, not even that, their own hands, but just I don't know where I was going with that. The West Memphis Threes are kind of the perfect example.
Mhm.
They're kind of alienated. They get into this stuff, and then that's just the result. You can't really argue the other way because only way you can argue definitively one way or the other is, well, really you can't. It's got to be a case by case basis.
We're back at Davy and Eccles.
Full circle. Full circle. We basically watched the paranormal videos I wanted to watch. Are we ready to wrap up, guys, and go out and I don't know, like do whatever
more stuff on YouTube.
Pretty well for me. I don't know about you all.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig back into this. I'm gonna dig back into this Stephen King book and see if I can get lectured for being white some more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go finish puking.
Okay. Well, I hope I gave you enough vomit fuel. I can't believe sold Kelly Strange.
I was in the middle of trying to make a point, and you're throwing stink faces at me. People are gonna clip that out like this is profound. Kevin Strange
unpopular opinion.
This is a profound spiritual lecture, and it's the footages of a girl getting stink faced by another girl.
It is profound. Those girls know what they're doing.
They sure do.
All right. Well, hey, this turned into a nice little surprise. We watched some paranormal shit. Mainly the gargoyle guy, and we squared away that whole postscript like we originally wanted to. So yeah, wow, that worked out good.
Absolutely.
Hey,
I still say you should invite Ed Opperman on here and have another go at it.
Okay.
By this point, I've got to admit I'm West Memphis 3'd out.
Well, I wouldn't be necessarily closed off to having Jason Baldwin on necessarily. I don't know if you guys would want to get involved with that, but I would
he'll probably talk to you. He'll talk to you. He's doing his thing up there.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to talk about. He's part of a exoneration organization, nonprofit.
Mm. See, maybe under the right circumstances, I would even talk to Damien. But I heard that what he does is he makes you say up front all the questions you're going to ask, and I wouldn't play that.
You say he probably has a fucking $1 million PR firm. You got to confirm all that with.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But
let's get freaking Jesse Miss Kelly on here.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be a very informative, interview.
That would be interesting. But again, that's why I say if you have Ed Opperman on, Ed Opperman is an investigative journalist. He has gone and spoken directly to Jesse before, from my understanding. If I
want to engineer a fight between Steph Young, Eponymous Rocks, and William Ramsey. It ain't going to happen, but it will be good.
All right, fellas, I'm going to get out of here.
Later. Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys throwing me on here, letting me talk some shit.
Been a long time. Yeah, good stuff.
This war was coming.
What's that?
The war was coming. It was inevitable.
It's not a war, man. It's more like a wasteland.
No, this is war.
Well,
it's not war. I don't have any desire to fight another war.
I'm going to have a war with my toilet while I read this book. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, later.
Oh, God.
Do we want to close out with maybe, I don't know, a clip from Art Bell of a pilot trying to fly into Area 51? Does that sound like
yes? That sounds good. Speaking of him, I'm reading his book. At least I think it's his book. That might be George Knapp. But I'm reading the Skinwalker Ranch. Have you read that?
That is George Knapp, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kelm Kelleher, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot.
Here we go. This is the last video we'll do today. I do think that we need to gather more paranormal stuff to watch because I understand where Strange is coming from, but I still believe that, some of this shit is real,
Yeah, some of it. Now, a lot of it for sure, no, but there's going to be that one that slips through the cracks, in my opinion. It's just bound to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so this last one is from, I don't know, maybe 2001 or maybe the 90s. I don't remember. This pilot says he's going to try to fly into Area 51. He's calling into Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. So this would have been probably in the 90s when Art Bell was hosting.
This isn't the one that appeared on that Tool album, was it?
No, this is a different Area 51 call. This guy says claims he's going to try to fly into Area 51. Here we go.
Again, let me tell you, Art, answer the wild card line. My boyfriend is in a small plane north of Las Vegas, ready to fly into Area 51. He's been trying to call you by cell phone. And here he is. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello there. Is this Art Bell?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, my name, I won't give you my last name.
Okay, wait a minute, sir. Hold on. The fax is signed by somebody named who? Jill. That is correct. So you are the one.
That's my girlfriend.
Yes, sir. Where are you?
Well, I'm up here from Fort Worth in my little airplane. It's a long sea I built myself. It's a Group 10 design with the Ford Canard. I'm not sure if you know the kind. It's an experimental aircraft.
I'm not
by that, but not anymore.
No, tell me about it. What kind of airplane is it?
Well, it's a long easy. It's got 120 horsepower like homing in it, but we had it bored and stroked and fixed it up a little bit. It usually flies around 140, 160 indicated airspeed. I'm right now at 7,000 feet. You know where this place called Indian Springs is?
Indian Springs, yes.
Yeah. Well, I've been flying now for about 49 minutes here between Beatty, is that what you call it, and Indian Springs. And I figure I just go on up here and try to get into this Area 51. I'm right south of this Nevada test site, or Nellis Air Force Base.
Listen.
And I'm right outside this restricted zone.
Listen to me. When you fly into that zone,
yeah,
they are going to either force you down or shoot you down. Don't you know that?
Well, I've been in a lot of Air Force bases, and I've been in the Air Force for many years. I'm an ex-Air Force, but I'm just going to tell you that, as American citizens, we have the right to know what's up there in this Area 51. And I've been listening to you boys talk about this. Hold on here, I'm taking a turn. Just a second here. And I'm going to go on up there and see what's going on. And I just wanted to let you know about that before I do that, don't you know?
How long do you estimate it's going to be before you
I figure about 12, 14 minutes. I crank this baby up a little bit here. Let's do that. Let's crank this thing on up. We've got some pretty good mountains here off to my west, don't you know? I'm turning up north right now, and I can see the Air Force base out there in the distance. It's got 3 runways. It looks like they're all lit up. And A-shaped. It's like north-south. Got a lot of desert up here, don't you, boys?
A lot of desert, yes.
A lot of desert.
You're liable to get yourself killed.
I'm sorry, so you have to speak so loud. I cranked this engine all the way up here.
I said you're liable to get yourself killed.
Well, we'll get up there in a few minutes, yeah. We're just going to see what's going to happen because this is I've got Red Cross is painted on this baby, and I got hospital on it, see? And maybe they're going to think that I'm on some kind of a mercy flight and I'm just off work. And I've got the radios cut off, so you can have radio failure, don't you know?
Don't you know?
I'm going to hold this thing steady here, about around 65, 68, 100 feet.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
I'm to the bottom of this. I'm a American. My family has been American for years, and I want to get down in here and I want to find out what's happening.
All right, then why are you doing it at night?
That's the best way to get in here.
But even if you manage to overfly the area, what?
I'm in the restricted zone. I just entered the restricted zone. I see a bunch of lights out there. Looks like some kind of a searchlight coming on.
You're in the restricted zone now?
I just crossed that restricted zone. I want to drop this big down.
I'm telling you, you're going to get shot down.
Hold on here now. I got my pressure suit on. I don't really need one of this kind of aircraft. It's not like a jet, but it helps us when I make some tight turns here. And I'm going to cut down here. Now, let's see what these boys are going to do. I don't see anybody coming up here yet. I just see a bunch of lights. But I'm pretty far from that Area 54. And I figure about another 8-9 minutes here. And it's hard to calculate right now trying to talk to you. I'm trailing an antenna out here about 30 feet so I can keep this phone conversation. If we get cut off, then... But I'm going to go up here and see what's going on. They say there's a bunch of UFOs and there's all kind of things out here. And I want to get this maybe right down here about 1,000 feet. And we're going to see if there's UFOs or anything out here, what's going on.
Listen, I think you're making a mistake.
Well, sir, I might be, but, our tax dollars pay for all this. And these boys, they've been hiding everything under all this black projects and all this great funding and all this kind of thing.
Sir, hold it. Don't you think that we have a right to national security secrets?
I think we have, not really, because they have these J-11 and J-15 satellites up there, and the Ruskies, they know what we're doing, and the Chinese, they've got satellites down here, they know what's going on. The only thing that don't know what's going on is the common folks like me and you, and us common folks got a right to know because we're funding all this.
How long have you been planning this?
I got this thing down here about 1,000 feet. I've been planning this thing now. I'm right on the deck, not quite on the deck. I'm at 1,000 feet. Boy, they got light bulbs popping up everywhere. I'm telling you, they got searchlights. There's about 4 of them out here. And I've been planning this now for, anywhere from a month to 6 weeks. It took me a while to paint up the plane because I had to use that Imron. The only thing that stick to this gel coat I got on this thing. This thing's built out of Kevlar and carbon fiber. I got it dressed 8G positive, 10G negative, it's overbuilt. I tell you what, I want to get down here and firm like a little frog that's been stepped on by a big dog when I get down here. In a few minutes here, I'll tell you that. Because I'm not going to... Hey, looks like there's a F-16 coming up here.
I wouldn't be surprised. You're making a mistake.
There's somebody down there. He's got some afterburners on because I can see him. He's about 5 miles out. That old boy is cranking. Yes, sir.
You are.
I see something opening up here on the ground. I'm pretty low now. I'm starting to pick up all kind of buildings down here. I see something here that's level with the ground, and they're opening this thing up. There looks like something's coming up out of that. I can't tell you what it is. It must be on some kind of a. Hold on here. I gotta make this turn.
Was that you or the dude?
He's gonna head up here for me.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, he'll come be up here right directly because he's in the F-16. Sure as hell. He's coming to hold on here.
Do what?
I thought. Okay, never mind. It was on the video.
Yeah. I believe he's legitimately flying into a restricted zone. I don't believe that.
Filmed it.
Huh?
If only he would have filmed it. Like, why did he like that on radio?
Yeah, but radio was still, developing back then, and that was enough back then. Now you can't even trust it when there's films.
I would advise you to turn I would advise you to turn on your radio.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. We can do this now. Come on here. Hold on, this old boy's coming up here. Now he's got his lights. He's got his lights on and he's flashing me.
Yeah, he's probably.
I'm waving at him. No radio. No radio. No radio. He don't know that.
Well, if I were you, I'd turn it on.
Folks are listening to Art Bell because everybody listens to Art Bell.
Well, maybe if you're making.
I gotta get there.
You're making a bad calculation because if they're not listening, you're going to be shot down.
I don't know what he's going to do here. He's rocking his wings at me right now. He's rocking his wings and he's cutting in front of me. And oh, don't cut in front of me now because if he cuts that close, stay off. Stay off. He can use the vortex from his engine, from Pratt & Whitney engine. We're going to, just like twin tornadoes, if he gets too close, stay off, bro. Hold on there. I'm getting down on the deck. I'm going in. I'm getting down there. He ain't going to get me. I bet them veterans ain't going to get me there. They didn't get me over there. They're not going to get me over there now. Looks like some kind of rail bus coming up out of that elevator, that west area over there that the doors open up. It's got some kind of a weird-looking barrel on it with a light. And, oh, hell, they're doing something. They're shooting at me now. Oh, God. No, baby, I'm going in. I think I'm going in.
Just a guy.
Well,
that's just it. We don't know. So the line dies there.
I'm not sure what we just heard. All I can tell you is I got a fax that read, Art, answer the wildcard line. My boyfriend is in a small plane north of Las Vegas and ready to fly into Area 51. He's been trying to call you by cell phone. I withheld the signature at the bottom of the fax so I could be sure that if I did get the person, I could verify it. Indeed, it was signed by Jill.
Well, that's as good a note as any to close out on. What did you think of that?
Maybe if I would have been listening live, it would have been cooler.
Back in the
I'm
day,
confused. I'm like a dang skeptic today. I'm never a skeptic.
I grew up with it, you know.
I did too. That's the thing.
I think a lot of it depends on the company of the people whose company I'm in when I talk about the stuff has a lot to do with it. And I don't think that makes me a phony necessarily, just that I guess I kind of camouflage my beliefs, you know, this way or that, depending on who I'm talking to. Because I'm still kind of undecided on almost everything, really. And so I can take one side or the other, you know. My psychology teacher in high school kind of prepared me for that. So he used to argue the contrarian viewpoint on everything, just for the sake of it, of doing it, you know. So
Yeah,
he showed me how easy it could be done, you know. Well, we'll watch some more paranormal videos sometime, dude. I hope you'll join us, me and Ben and Gregor again this Sunday, though, for the normal.
Oh yeah, sure. That was just special circumstances.
I still don't know if we're gonna have anybody on or what.
I know. Let's get Gabino Iglesias on.
That ain't happening. Well, under the right circumstances, it could happen, but you know, I'm not like capitulating the show over to him and an army of his buddies, you know, or anything like that. Under the right circumstances, I would talk to him, but I just don't think that he's, you know, capable of talking to at this point. Those people are lost, you know.
I agree with you. You couldn't have a conversation with him without.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You've heard me over the last few weeks admit, you know, I was wrong here and I was wrong here and I shouldn't have done that. When do you hear them own their own mistakes?
Well, that's the thing, though. They're playing by this kind of system that puts them at the top, so there aren't any mistakes.